let me Hold on. 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Airing It Out podcast live. I am Dustin Marion. He is Hollow Clutch. What is going on, Hollow?
Chilling, man. I'm looking like 2020, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. Now listen, bro, your boy was trying to fit in a fucking medium over here, and I couldn't. Forget about haircuts, daddy. I can't. I'm eating way too much. I gotta put myself on Jenny Craig or something.
You got the quarantine 15. I think that's what they call it.
Jesus Christ. Oh, look, that's pretty sick. I think I got more than 15, but
Yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah, so over there, no barbershop still, right?
No,
you gotta do
you
your
you could get some. I just been lazy to get some. I've been getting haircuts for the most part.
regularly.
I think regularly since like September, I will go get haircuts. And then prior pandemic wise, like real heavy, like April, May, June, I bought my own clippers. And then Shorty was just...
Yeah. That's how you got to do it, bro.
Shorty was there. I'm gonna join that world soon where the ball club.
Really?
Yeah, soon.
Your shit is receding?
Bro, back. It's good. I'm about to look like LeBron.
You saluting back here and shit?
Yep. Felix is there already, and I told him, I was like, "Yo, fam, it's time. It's time to."
Oh, he's looking, and the homeboy still trying to hold on. You gotta let it go, man.
Yeah, let it go.
It sucks though, because we carrying the quarantine 15 plus bald. That shit is just not looking, fire right there. You can't be bald, fat, and short. You gotta pick one of the three, or at least two out of the three.
The issue too is women are I'm taking, you're taking, but this shit's on the internet where it's dad bods are a thing.
How the fuck did that happen?
I have no idea.
I stopped working out when I read that shit. I was like, I'm good.
Basically, right? You have all these hot women talk about dad bods. You're good to go. Most women don't really like really muscular men, but it's
I wonder if they're lying or they just got so many goddamn dad bods they had to fold. You know
Probably,
what I mean?
Right? Fold to pressure.
Well, it's not pressure. It's more so if everybody doesn't look like fucking Chris Hemsworth, you just fuck it, I give up.
For sure. For sure.
I don't know how much I'm crazy about the mom bod, but I don't know. Mom bod's hot. Mom bod's hot.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it just shows that they bear the children, and that's beautiful, because we can't make kids, so it's sexy. It's sexy. So, dude, it just seems like the show just keeps feeding us, they just keep on giving us news. I mean, my motherfucking notifications are
just going off the hook, right? It's like 2021 really just said, you know what? Let's just do what we did last year all over again. It's evil twin brother of 2020, and it's just starting off crazy.
I don't know if news has a stock market exchange situation, but news is hot right now. Everybody's getting money. CNBC, CNN, all these guys.
Everybody's getting money and everybody's broke. It's like both sides of the coin.
But it looks like this dude, he's just going ham. He's about to make. I mean, we're gonna dive into it, but 2 impeachments, bro, in less than 14 months, 15 months.
About.
Right.
But again, it was I felt like it was.
It was just cause.
It was just to show face. I think the House did that just to show, we're here for you people. Which I thought, at the end of the day, he's impeached, but he's not gonna be able, nothing else is gonna happen. Unless they're talking about they might pursue legal action once he's not president.
Right. That's what I heard. I mean, we're gonna try to unpack this because there's just so many things. But first of all, Pence had an opportunity to move forward on the 25th Amendment, and he declined.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he had an opportunity, I guess, to get Trump out of there sooner, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good."
I think he even saw the writing was on the wall. If you understand government, you understand civics. It's gonna take time, even when you impeach somebody. It's not you impeach, you're gone, you're out of there. It doesn't work like that. The government doesn't work how people think it works. Only people who are educated on the topic knows how it works. So if you impeach him, you still got to go through a process where it has to go to the Senate, and then that's a whole other process in itself. And then he has a chance to defend himself. But you're doing all this for nothing when he's out. And what are we? A week. He's literally out next Friday, next Friday. He's out of the office. It's just I feel like it's
Pointless.
just a show face. It's more propaganda than it is anything else. That's how I look at it.
No. I agree. I was confused because I'm like, why? I know the saving face part, but I'm like, why are you even bothering? I mean, they're wasting our tax dollars, convening in rooms, voting to kick out a guy that at the end of the day is going to leave anyway. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, they only handed out $600 checks when they should be reconvening on, I think, putting more money into the economy. Because right now it's holding up by stilts. I don't even know how people. There's no work,
What they need
so
to
I don't know.
do is open everything. Like that's it. Like that's the
Yeah.
perfect solution to everything. Like stop with this keeping everything closed down stuff. Like it's we have almost a year of it now. It's
I know it's not wild, bro.
it's not working.
Dude, I thought in like March of last year, I was like, they were saying, well, it's gonna take like 2 years, blah blah. I was like, that's impossible. And then I started flirting with the idea that it was kind of over because summer opened up, everything
Yep.
was kind of thing.
And then
I'm like,
George
oh,
Floyd, boom.
bye. Yeah, well, that was a whole nother situation because I feel like that even was, um, and I don't want to use the word exaggerated, but blown up more. Like it's been happening for a while. They just picked that particular situation. Now, granted, that was like one of the most egregious things we've seen probably since Rodney King, but it seems to have died down, that whole momentum, right? Like now BLM seems to be more like with a punchline. But I know that they were protesting in DC like crazy after all of this stuff, and then it seemed like they called in the National Guard and they got all this other stuff and everything is going down. So Washington is a mess. It's a mess.
It is. It's just and it's just sad because you could just see how both sides, like how one side tries to silence the other side. So like
Right.
you have the Democrats trying to silence the Republicans, and like it doesn't work that way. Like you can't silence people because you don't agree with them. That's not how this works. That's why America is supposed to be what America stands for. And if you are trying to silence somebody because you don't like how it works, then we're losing our way. And it's kind of sad how you're telling restaurant owners, you're telling daycare people, you're telling all these people how they can't open their businesses or anything like that. But then you go and you have these big tech companies that go and they silence people on the internet just
Yeah,
because
that's crazy.
you don't agree with their ideology. So they remove Parler from the Play
Google
Store.
Play Store and
They
iTunes.
removed Parler from everywhere.
Right. Parler doesn't exist anymore, basically.
It's put like that. They removed it from people to go to group up. So now you tell these people who, if you don't like Facebook, if you don't like Instagram, if you don't like Twitter, don't go to these sites. Go to somewhere else, make your own thing, and go do that. Well, they did, and then you had a private business shut down that forum for people who are like-minded, who had echoing a sentiment that you didn't agree with. But just because you don't agree with them, it shouldn't be shut down. But then you're gonna tell a pizza spot or the local corner store you can't open because of COVID. Like it's a whole bunch of contradicting things going on back and forth. Because you're gonna say at one hand they're private business, but then there's other private businesses that you're not letting open, or you're fining, or you're arresting. So like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth, which is it's not a good thing and it doesn't look right for where we're heading.
I started to trip out, bro, because first of all, I started to think, man, when you look at overall America's history is kind of terrible, bro. It's not like, it's crazy to think like when you start to like really pull the tea leaves. I mean, when you start to really pull it back and you start to read the tea leaves. Yeah, we had the Industrial Revolution. Yeah, we had all of these innovations in the tech spaces and the internet's been huge here. But overall, bro, I feel like this has been the whole thing the whole time. We've never really had, like, I was thinking about this the other day. How can potential slave owners write on a piece of paper, all men are free?
Exactly.
That's crazy, right? When that's not true. And then now fast forward to where we're at right now, we thought we had all these freedoms. We thought we had freedom of speech. And it's kind of looking like we don't. Especially when you can take down, like you said, it's like, hey, don't fuck with this. There's one over there. You can say whatever you want. So it's like, all right, cool. I'm going to go over there. But then when I go over there, you're like, nah, fuck that. That's over.
Exactly.
That's shut down. you can't go over there now because we don't like what they're saying over there. So again, when you're talking about the two sides of the mouth, it's like, what is okay? Is it okay for us to be able to express ourselves? Right. But then there's another situation that's kind of weird, right? Because now I feel like, you know how cancel culture was getting thrown around a lot?
Yep. They were just.
I feel like hate speech is a new one that's getting thrown around a lot.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like that's the new kind of like punchline to be like, whoa, that was hate speech, so you're done. But I mean, I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know. Maybe we're confused. Maybe social media is not what we think it is. Maybe social media is not a place where you have an avenue to express your thoughts and your creative side. It's just within a parameter. As long as you're in that box and you're okay with that, then it's good. Because a large portion of it too is once we sign, you know, those agreements, when we sign up, it's in it saying, hey, you know, you can't say hate speech, right? But I feel like the word hate speech is kind of blurred, because if I don't agree with somebody, right, and let's say, for example, let's say I don't like Hillary Clinton's, you know, approach on taxes, right? I'm like, fuck that bitch. She sucks. Terrible senator. That's considered hate speech. I don't know if that's considered hate speech or if that's considered talking shit, right? Like, now, granted, if you're like, fuck that bitch, I'm gonna kill her, that's a little different. But it's like, again, it's like a very weird space. You know what I mean?
Yeah, again, you're, and it's tough because if you're reading characters, you can interpret it any way you want,
100%,
depending on what type of person you are. If you're a paranoid person, if you're not, if you're a person who likes a sense of humor. Because if you could say, all right, fuck Hillary Clinton, I'm gonna kill that bitch. But if I'm saying it, let's say if I send a video out, we're talking about how laughing and how, oh shit, that bitch is creepy, and we're laughing while saying it is different than writing it down or reading it in a character. In a character
even
sense.
Emojis don't explain the joke, right?
Like you could even put a knife with a happy face, and it still wouldn't be like.
It's not going to be received well.
Like you would understand me because you know me,
right.
But if you're gonna try to talk to the masses who don't know you, then it's gonna be perceived that way. Just like when the whole Kevin Hart thing, we spoke about it last week, how, you know, whatever hit my son if he was gay, whatever the hell, he clearly was joking, but they're trying to take the words of the context out of it because it's typed in. Right.
I also think too that it's something that Gary Vee talks about a lot, right? Where it's content versus context.
Correct.
Right? Like that's what you were saying. Like in the context of us, you can say mad crazy shit, and I already know like that's Jay, he's joking, blah blah, right? But in moving it forward to someone else, the content might not have that same context for someone else. So it's very difficult. So maybe that's a slippery slope that they created a space, especially on Twitter, because Twitter is very, very word heavy, right? It's not so much video and everything else. I think. But
then again, it also comes to if let's say you say you're a conservative, right? Let's just say if you just say you was a conservative, just saying that you're conservative, you're already about to have this big stigma behind you. Yeah. Even if people don't know you. So let's say if you say you're a conservative and say, hey, I don't believe that all babies are cute. Just put it like that. If all babies aren't cute, but you're conservative, so they're gonna be like, oh, you hate babies, or you are against abortion, or just something
you're a
stupid.
Baby hater.
Correct. Like even like personally to me, I don't think all babies are cute. I've seen ugly babies. But if I type that and if I have a conservative tag behind that, the whole narrative changes on how these woke people in this woke culture will attack me in a certain way just because of who I am. Even if sometimes they eat their own.
Yes. Yeah, they totally do.
And that's the scary part.
Most of the time.
Yeah, and that's the scary part where if I'm like, let's say if I'm on the left and I'm for everything, social programs, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then if I say something that it doesn't align with them, they will then come after me, even if I agree with 95% of what they're trying to fight for. It's a scary place because Twitter's just a lot of loud people screaming with no context.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's potentially a soundboard. I think it's dangerous where we're going. I think we got to be careful. I mean, I had another show with some other guys and they felt a lot like you, like, you know, let's let the show roll and be renegade and stuff like that. But now you kind of have a little bit of responsibility to your own product that you don't get canceled or you don't get shut down. So you kind of have to be, on eggshells. I mean, I've seen Rogan multiple times kind of pump the brakes. Like he'll get on the fringe, but he won't get too crazy.
But he's been real open. He'll apologize if he's wrong about something. Yes. If he's wrong, but sometimes he has if he says something, he stands by it if he strongly believes in it, kind of thing. So like with men who turn to women who are fighting against other real biological women, like he stands by that because he's a commentating fighting expert. Right. Like he believes that men shouldn't fight women, even if you are a woman now who used to be a man for 30 years. Like he'll stand on his ground. But if he says some shit that he read online, which is headlines, which 85% of people do, they That's read. Like 85% of people, 90% I would even say, read the headline and then spew something that they didn't read the article. So like when I have conversations with people and they say, "Well, did you see that Trump slapped some Pelosi or some shit?"
Yeah.
I seen the headline, but I didn't read the article. Like that's how I always come across, because I want to make sure I get the full context and understand everything before I give my opinion on it. Not saying I'm going to know everything top to bottom, but I'm going to read the article or something that everybody's freaking out about.
At least check it out a little bit, right? Exactly. Like you just can't be talking shit based on headlines, because that'd be fucking bananas.
But that's what Twitter is.
I know. Yes. Right. That's what I think. I think Jack Dorsey's in a really, really tough situation, because to bring it back to Rogan for a second, he's been on Rogan and he agrees that there should be like a regular Twitter and then a Wild West Twitter, right? Where anything goes. But now it seems like that might not be a thing, right? And so like you got some of these dudes in positions that are maybe being forced to do things that they don't want to be doing, right? And the same thing with the dude from the CEO of Parler. All of a sudden your shit is shut down. What are you supposed to do now?
Exactly. And it's scary for even us. Let's say if we had a moderate base. Let's say we had 1,000 people who watch us every single time. They donated to us on YouTube, whatever the case may be. We get ad revenue from YouTube, and then YouTube says, "Well, you agreed with something Trump said."
Yes. Yep.
That's your first strike. And then the second strike, and then you're banned off. What if that was our only source of income? Like, which is a lot of creators.
That's happened to a lot of dudes.
Exactly.
A lot of people have been kicked off of YouTube. I mean, I think even Rogan is like, "Yo, can we say that? Can we show that? Can we do that?" Exactly. Okay, I don't want to get kicked off. I don't want to get shut down, because obviously a lot of people are counting on that revenue. I think that it's going to create an interesting space where now maybe some of these guys at Y Combinator, which is like a spot where a lot of these ideas for apps and stuff get funded with financial angels. I think now there's going to be some room for growth, right? Like somebody's got to be clamming to be like, "Yo, we got to open up another version of Parler or another version of Twitter."
But doesn't matter, because if they get a prominent figure who doesn't agree or align with their thing, promote that.
Then we need to make a new app store. Then fuck that.
That has to be it. That would have to be
that would be the answer.
Because you can that's why I love Android, because let's say if Parler were still up and running, the reason why there's another reason why Parler got shut down was supposedly that the security was bad. Like they didn't have good security, so you could find.
That's kind of bullshit, because they said the same thing about TikTok, right? Sure. TikTok was fucking from China, so all of a sudden the fucking Chinese are reading your goddamn emails.
Correct.
Right.
So, in order to do that, right, and release a party store, whatever the case. Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, why I love Android. So let's say if Parler was still up and running, but they took the apps off the App Store, but the app was still running. Since you already have it on your phone, you can still use it. So remember a couple of years ago when it had the Flappy Bird shit, where you had to go under the pipe, over the pipe. It was like a video game.
Okay.
And what happened was that one guy. So it was a video game on your phone. Once you have it downloaded to your phone and it's still operational,
you have it for life.
You have it for life. So you had people who were selling their phones with the game on it for like $3-4 grand. But the reason why I got banned off of all these stores was these two guys were playing. One guy beat the other guy's score and the other guy killed him.
In real life?
In real life.
Damn.
So it was something along those. It was called Flappy Bird. So the game was still functioning on the phone. So if Parler was still functioning on the phone, you could download the APK file to the phone, unzip it, and then you could just get it anyway. So that's why I like Android, and I'm pretty sure on Apple you won't be able to do that.
There's not. They don't even allow you to download certain things. Like remember that movie site we used to get with. You could do that, on the Droid all day, but Apple was like, no
shot, exactly.
Nothing.
So
you're done.
Like
that's a lot of power, bro. So how the fuck all of a sudden Amazon and Apple and Google? I mean, we already knew this, but now they're getting bigger now, where they're actually controlling and basically like they're the gatekeepers.
I saw a stat, which is kind of crazy.
And they're the bouncer of the club.
Let's put this in perspective. I love Elon Musk, right? But during the pandemic, he's become the richest man in the world. Like during the pandemic, there's nothing against that. There's nothing against him. There's been 50 new billionaires this year alone during a pandemic, 2020.
Crazy, bro. Yeah.
Which is how are you more billionaires in a pandemic where people can't work, can't do anything, supposedly no money,
supposedly,
and there's 50 new billionaires.
Bro, think about this. The number that was released in the news, right? I don't remember who released it first, but the original number was 200 billion during the pandemic. Then it got revised and it went to 800 billion. Based on what you're telling me right now, bro, it's more like 100 billion. So you're telling me in the most crisis time of our history, there were some folks who were able to generate $100 billion, bro.
Or
that's
more than
crazy.
That. Probably a trillion.
More, for sure, way more. I'm giving it the line there because originally it was only 200 bill, and that's not a fact.
The Great Depression, right? The stock market crashed. It bottomed out.
Yes.
In last year, nobody working, supposedly. 50 million Americans out. The stock market's up the entire year.
Yeah.
So
I've watched it. Dude. Tesla in February of 2020 was about $600-700 a share. In less than 4 months, it went up to $2,500.
Yep.
That's crazy. I mean, if you would have took your original stimulus check and would have bought 4, you would have caked up.
You would have been better. Or bought it when the stock split.
Right.
Either way.
And look, it just split, right? To 420, and it's back up to 820. Yep. So you would have doubled up again.
Yep.
So it's I was just telling that to my wife. I'm like, man, this is not only is this a weird time in history, like shit is just not making sense at all.
And that's why like the proponent for Bitcoin is it's
You see what happened? Look at what happened to Bitcoin. Bitcoin was like 10,000, right? Check this shit out, Jay. I was just telling my man. I'm looking at Bitcoin, right? I play a little bit in the market. I'm not a heavy hitter, but I play a little bit. So I'm looking. I had a couple shares of some other things, and I'm like, damn, Bitcoin 10,000. That kind of looks good, right? But I can only buy one, right? Because if I would have bought one, it went up to $40,000. One. Yep. I would have tripled my investment. The only thing about Bitcoin, a story or a headline, I shouldn't say story, a headline that I read was there's 140, I think, $1 million of Bitcoin that's not being claimed because motherfuckers forgot their password.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. I think I'm one of them.
You're one of them?
I think I have one Bitcoin and I can't, for the life of me, remember my password.
That's bananas.
So I don't
that's why I get scared. I'm like, I can't fuck with you.
But my thing is like, I don't know how that like that should have been like whoever created the Coinbase. It should have been, I don't know, a 5-step.
So hold on, I don't want to interrupt you real quick. So you can't go. You know how like you lock yourself out of your email and shit, and then you be like, okay,
you have to remember
you can't reset yourself. You can't reset the password.
No.
That shit is, them dudes are raping people. That's a rape.
The way it works is you have to remember a phrase. So whatever my dog Sally jumped over a couch.
My first dog was, my fucking first car was.
It has to be a phrase, a 12-word or 12-thing phrase. So it'd be like whatever. I love my Xbox forever. It has to be something along those lines.
My God, that's fucking brutal, bro.
So I think
gotta write that shit down word for word.
Exactly. So imagine if I had like 10 Bitcoin. You're fucked.
No, you would have been a millionaire, pa. You right now you're on the gate.
Or close to it. Like
facts. And you would have had 100K at 10 times 10 at least, right? I mean, it's up to 35, I think.
I would have been around $400,000.
Yeah.
Let's say if I had 10 Bitcoin. Like, but we like that. I was looking at it this week, and I'm like, they gotta be a better way because like people are gonna forget their passwords. Like,
Come on,
it's
bro.
just
That's why the fucking. Come on.
so. But I'm not trying to. I was trying to make the
To rack
comparison
Bitcoin.
to Bitcoin. The system of that is decentralized. So, let's say if I have 10 Bitcoin, right? If I give you 5 Bitcoin, then you give somebody else 2 Bitcoin, and then that person gives somebody else 1 Bitcoin.
Okay.
There's a ledger. There's a ledger.
Like they
Jay had this
10. Then he
Chris
broke
got
all 5.
Chris got his 1 Bitcoin, and it goes up the ladder all the way to Jay's 10.
Right.
So every single Bitcoin is tracked. You can't hide nothing. There's no this shell shit. There's nothing that to the Cayman Islands. There's nothing money laundering.
Wow. That's all tracked.
Everything is tracked. So every
So how come
donation.
you can't get it back? That
That's
doesn't
it.
make any sense.
That's the issue.
So my thing is, okay, so let me ask you, because you bought a Bitcoin once, right?
Correct.
Did you buy it on the internet? I don't mean to be an idiot, but okay.
Yeah.
You put your first and last name, right?
Correct.
You don't put your street address, your social, none of that shit. It's just your first name.
Because I bought it with PayPal. I bought it with PayPal.
Right. So you should be able to reclaim it through PayPal. Like that doesn't even make any fucking sense. Like there's a paper trail of that I have it. There's another paper trail that I bought it. How come I can't fucking get it? I mean, I am Jason fucking.
Now,
Bermudez.
that's what I was trying to get to. Like, how does I gotta do more research, and we're going off.
Better find that fucking coin. I know we're going a little off topic, folks.
But like, there's a guy who supposedly has $220 million of Bitcoin, but he can't get into his wallet because he forgot his password.
See, that's why I'm not fucking with it. Because there's no way I would remember that shit. You know how many? I have emails I can't even fucking get into because I don't. Send it to the phone.
That's the only thing that they need to, I don't know, figure out how people, like, because it's gonna happen. People are gonna forget their password.
Not only that, and we'll slide off after this. I think that you would make more people interested, right? Like, let's say you got 1/3 of the people bought in and they actually own a coin, right? But the other 2.5 are like, well, it's a little shady. It's not backed by anything. And I can't get back into my shit if I forget my shit. If they were to make it a little bit easier, then I feel like probably Bitcoin would go through the roof again. Probably, right? Because it can't be. I mean, 200, bro, if you had 200 mil and you can't get that back, I don't know, man. Harry Carey, I would be thinking about that shit real heavy.
Yeah, like,
because that's got to suck.
It sucks because I don't even remember I'm trying to remember the password from that time, and for the most part,
why are you making it so fucking complicated, bro?
And I've used the same password for the most part, for the longest. Right. So I was trying to put that, and that didn't even work. So what I'm gonna try to do
is have no trial and error shit, nothing.
I think you get 10 attempts, and if you do, you're locked out of your wallet
forever. All right. So let's get back to some more fun shit because I'm getting depressed because my man's got 40 grand sitting somewhere. He can't even get into the goddamn fucking thing. So let's do what we do best. Urban Meyer, he just gets picked up by the Jacksonville Jaguars to be their head coach. The news I think broke yesterday afternoon.
Well, I think what are your thoughts? Is it confirmed?
It's final. Because
they were saying they were in serious talks. So I want to let's double check.
Double check. Do the double check. Do a little Aaron Rodgers.
They were in talks.
Now the Jets have fucking interviewed everybody and their mother. I haven't landed a goddamn motherfucker. They're not the Jets. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're bad, but they're not stupid. The Jets are bad and stupid, at least from the front office ownership perspective. Is it final or were they were flirting? I think it's final, cuz. Reach the deal. Let me see here.
I think they're still in talks, but I think you're right. They're leaning towards it. So let's go with that. They're leaning towards it.
Okay, that sounds fine. I'll take that.
And I don't know how they're gonna get Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, correct. They have the second most cap space or the most cap space, I believe.
Right.
And
to be honest with you, I don't know why that's a thing anymore.
Because you could get
like why
you could sign players.
Sure, I get that. Yeah, but signing players we've seen doesn't really work.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? Like you got to build from. I hate when they say that. They're like they say that shit every year about the Jets. The Jets got the most cap space on the planet. I'm like, bro, it doesn't fucking matter.
Nobody even wants to come here anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Not only that, like cap space. Let's say you had $100K in cap space, right? You can only buy 2 guys with that shit anyway, right? Like
the NFL,
the money kind of goes fast.
The NFL is tricky, so like. Right. They'll say you got a $50 million deal over 4 years, and then the first 2 years are guaranteed, and the last 2 years aren't. So that's how
so you got to give them all that money up front, basically.
the bonus is what it hits the cap. You got to worry about. But if you sign somebody to say $20 million, it's a 2-year deal, and the first year's $8 million, the second year's $12 million. You know, like your cap is only taking an $8 million hit. You know, like that's how it works.
Right. There's different ways. You could either do it front heavy or you could do it back heavy.
Correct. And most of them do it back heavy. Most of them do it
usually,
back heavy. Unless you like a Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, you do it front heavy.
Usually, if you're a QB, they're gonna pay you handsomely, especially if you come off of a Super Bowl win, a la Joe Flacco, a la Patrick Mahomes.
So if Trevor Lawrence is what they hope Trevor Lawrence is gonna be.
So look, we both played fantasy, right? Mm-hmm. I think the Jags are decent. They're not horrible. Their defense is patty, but offensively they look like they were doing some stuff. Mm-hmm. Gardner Minshew is just not the answer.
Exactly.
Right.
And so with cap salary cap, you go out there and you build yourself a defense to the salary cap.
Right.
Because you have DJ Chark is good. You just need a better quarterback. James Robinson showed that he could play the running back, the rookie running back. So you get the quarterback, which everybody's saying the second coming of fucking John Elway and everybody.
Right.
And if they hit on that, you're set. You know, you just get a defense. Mm-hmm. You get them make sure you get them a good tight end. If that was them, I would go get Hunter Henry.
That would be fire. Is he a free agent?
Yeah, he's gonna be a free agent. You go get him.
Good. That's a good play.
And
you need a tight end, especially for a rookie quarterback.
Exactly.
That's gonna help immensely. So now you got kind of a game.
Exactly.
I know you need is maybe you could hit on a receiver in the draft or something like that. I mean, like you said, Shark is good. They got a couple of other guys that I've seen that have played in Sharp's absence.
Keaton Cole. Yep.
Yeah, they got guys. So they're obviously every team at this point is a quarterback away, right? Because
it's almost every
for the most part, everybody's let's say at 500 talent wise, right? You don't have bums. You have the best of the best. We just call them bums because we're basically like you like to say we're not only that we're splitting greatness.
Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? Because it's just like Homeboy's an animal. He got 10 sacks on a garbage team, but he's not winning. So that's important. So now, what do you think? Do you think that Urban Meyer, coming from college, will have an impact instantly within the draft because he's already seen and played against some of these players?
If he does what Pete Carroll did, he'll have if he uses like some of the guys. He talks back to Ryan Day. Talks to them, some of them, the scouts from Ohio State, saying, "Hey, who's coming out? Who you've seen,
who you recommend and stuff like that."
So it's a high possibility. It's a high possibility. And
I don't want to stay on this too long, but they got the Colts, who are really a quarterback away. Mm-hmm. You got Tennessee, who's a playoff team every season until and one might argue they're actually one great quarterback away from dominating that division.
Yep.
I mean, how much noise are you going to expect to make in that division? Overnight, the division got good.
It all starts with culture. So if Urban Meyer brings in a good culture, and he comes in because he's won everywhere he went, the only issue that they're saying there is he is somebody who kind of probably would get bored in the same situation.
Yes.
So
that's a la the guy from Alabama.
Miami.
I think it's hard, man, because you used to telling guys to go to bed and show up.
You were dealing with boys.
Yeah.
Now you're dealing with
rich dudes. Yeah, and the rich dude is gonna be like, "Yo, pa, you ain't telling me to go fucking to bed at 8:00 because you figured out some
issue is that I don't mind with the NFL is if you don't listen to me, you're cut. Like it's a little different. Like you can hold some of these dudes accountable.
That's true.
They don't have really a big veteran presence on the Jags to begin with. Like there's no Ray Lewis. There's no.
They had Jalen Ramsey, but he was talking too much shit. They got rid of him.
Exactly.
Right? They've had some guys, and every time they get a dude,
they had Calais Campbell.
Ship them out.
They've had these guys, so you could build a culture from within, and it has to start with Urban Meyer. But who knows? What if he just only wants to do it for 2 years or 3 years?
I was just gonna bring that up. You know what's the scary part is? You can create a culture for 1 year. To do that shit repetitively is so hard, right? Because the Jags have had splashes. The Jags have been 10-6. The Jags have been like 9-7. They've been 11-5, and then the following season they can't win a game until November. Mm-hmm. It's like that's hard. Like
everything's hard when you're not winning.
For that team, right? And also too, I feel like the NFL should do a little bit like the fucking NBA does with the fucking lottery. You know what I mean? Just keep not force feeding the teams the first pick, but more so like maybe making easier schedules on these bummier teams.
But that's how that works.
Because
The NFL works
yeah,
that way.
well, the Jets didn't have that shit
Well,
because
they
the Jets
just
were horrible last year and they had a really difficult schedule. It doesn't always work out like that. It's supposed to work out like that, but it doesn't always.
Remember the thing is that the team. So all right, so let's say the Jets this year, right? Since they were in the bottom of the division. So now next year
They should have the most weakest fucking
they
schedule
will,
next year.
right? But now peep this. So let's say they'll play Deshaun Watson, right? Let's say they match them up
Sure.
with the Texans, right?
Uh-huh.
But now let's say the Texans go out and get OBJ. They go revamp the defense. Now
You're saying that at the time the team might suck, but if the team
Exactly.
goes make flashes, then it's not their fault that all of a sudden the team that was the 10th seed all of a sudden is 2 with talent on paper. And
Exactly.
then they start to show up and perform, and then you're like, "Fuck, how did we end up with this?"
Exactly. So you'll get let's say who's the fourth team in the NFC in the division with the Steelers? The Bengals. The
right.
Bengals won a 4th seed, right?
Yes.
So now next year, what if they come out now let's say
Right. Joe Burrow comes back, they get a wide receiver,
they get a
all
running
of a sudden
back.
fucking AJ Green plays
now
like
they
fucking
slapping
95.
everybody. So now
Fuck.
like you're they have to play a 4th place schedule. But now let's say if they go 11-5 or 12-4, let's say I'm just saying it can happen that way.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So that's
That
why
makes
Tom
sense.
Brady's greatness is fucking unmatched because he's always played.
And we're gonna talk about it. My man is just
he
filthy.
played a first place schedule almost his entire career.
right.
So, but
That's crazy.
So like that's why it gets a little. That's why you got these teams that like they balloon up. So you'll get Jacksonville to come out 10-5 or 11-5 or 10.
That's true.
You
I
know,
didn't think about it like
10-6
that.
because then they'll play bum ass Cincinnati. They'll play the bum ass Cardinals. They'll play those bum teams at the time of the year that they like for the next year. So then
Right.
that's
They're
what,
basing it off of last year's schedule, like last year's record.
Correct.
And this year, like you said, they could bubble up, and all of a sudden, Minnesota could fucking end up being undefeated.
Correct.
Right? And you might think that they're sleepy, and you're like, yeah, this is gonna be a good matchup in the sense of even, and it's not.
Correct.
Because they can hit on players and do more. I mean, it's interesting. I think that's probably the only concern, whether or not Urban Meyer's here to stay. Right.
Yep.
And I think that if I was Jacksonville, I would be like, all right, cool. You got to sign a 10-year contract.
But even so, I'll retire. Doesn't matter. You're not locked in. They can't force you to coach.
I know, but there's got to be some verbiage where, like, what Homeboy did to the Miami Dolphins was ridiculous, right? I don't know if it was Nick Saban. It might have happened twice.
But I don't blame Nick Saban either because he wanted Drew Brees and the coaching staff said no.
So he's like, fuck it, I'm out.
Because we don't know what happens if they sign off on Drew Brees.
Right.
The medical staff said no, his shoulder was done. But look, now he goes onto the Saints, wins the Super Bowl, has throws for 50,000 yards. What if he stays in Miami with Nick Saban? What if Nick Saban they're winning 10, 11 games a year? No, I agree with that. That decision altered his.
That was a huge miss on Miami's front office in the whole deal to lose Saban and to lose on Brees. Like, damn, you fucking up.
So it's all hit or miss. Nothing is perfect, and
it's sports. It's sports.
It's
just don't know.
Urban Meyer, you just don't know. Like, he's a great college coach. We're gonna see what happens if he comes up, and because he's had health concerns too. So what if those health concerns return? It's a lot.
Yeah, he's not around Rivera.
Exactly.
Ron be getting filthy. Riverboat Ron. Shout out to my man.
So we don't know.
Beating cancer and going ham.
It's a lot of question marks.
All right, I think at least there's a bright future at the end of the tunnel for at least this up and coming season if they do land him, because getting Trevor and Urban Meyers is definitely an upgrade.
Sure.
And all of a sudden I've been banging on my chest for a minute. I even think I got a YouTube video somewhere out there on the Dustin Marion that I said the Jags were a dark horse. I even called out Tennessee as a dark horse, but that's a tough division because the South, it just seems like they just beat up on each other. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But moving, we got a lot to unpack today, so we're just gonna go. We're going fast. This one we're gonna stay on a minute because I'm not too crazy about the Mets, but the Mets go out and they sign Francisco Lindor.
True.
Good, great, or you think it's up for debate?
I don't know. That's my honest answer. It's just because if they fired their entire medical staff, I'm on board. Because for whatever reason, the Mets players, star players, can't stay healthy. All the pitchers are always hurt. Somebody is always hurt. Look at Cespedes, hurt, quad.
All their pitchers are usually banged up too, right?
It's almost Tommy John, sir. Like always, somebody's always hurt. Syndergaard's hurt. Wheeler hurt. Somebody's always hurt on the Mets. And
do you think that the ownership, if they hire new ownership, do they keep most of that personnel in there?
Not. I hope they do change it. That'd be my first thing. If I'm an owner, I'm coming in. Damn, why the fuck is everybody hurt? Medical staff, you out. I'm bringing a whole new medical staff in here. Hey, players, what's going on? What are you like? What was not working? What is working? You know, like everything could look good on paper.
Yeah, that's the terrible thing about it.
That's the issue. Everybody looked good. Look at a couple years ago, the Los Angeles Angels. They looked good on paper. They had Mike Trout. You had, you signed Pujols. You thinking that's gonna be
Ohtani, my guy,
exactly.
Ohtani, the Japanese beast.
You think
you're gonna be just home run hitting all day?
And no, like they barely a good team, and that's a waste of Mike Trout's talent in the Angels. Sticking on topic to the Mets, I just don't know what they're gonna do, like, or how is it gonna come together.
Have you seen or have you watched at all? Because I know it's a different market, but have you ever watched Lindor play? Did you watch the baseball playoffs this offseason?
Yeah,
this season?
He's a beast. Don't get me wrong,
right?
But
Animal,
like,
right?
It doesn't like it's you're first of all you're in the NL, so your
right, which is brutal.
Your pitcher has to bat, so you're already losing one hitter.
You're right.
So you have 8 hitters. Now, if I'm the Mets, I hit up DJ LeMahieu because the Yankees are doing some dumb dickhead shit.
What is going on?
I don't know why they don't just
La Máquina. They're not giving it to him.
I have no idea. But if I'm the Mets, I'm a Yankee fan. I'm going to the Met. Going to DJ LeMahieu.
I would sign him in a heartbeat.
5 years, $100 million, whatever you want. Let's go. You put him in front of. You put him in front of
his injury shit.
No, he don't.
No,
LeMahieu shows up every day. He banned 350.
He's filthy. He's filthy. I love him. I can't believe he came from Colorado. He's doing big things.
Exactly.
That would be great. So then, what you get? LeMahieu in the leadoff, and then Lindor behind him.
Exactly. And you play from there, and you can make a trade or two. Keep moving. Keep wheeling and dealing. Bring up some young guys. Be unconventional. Whoever's banned 400 in AA, bring him up. See what happens. Like it's keep it going. Bring the stars that need to be brought. But I just hope that the Mets, you know, it's fun when the Yankees are in the Mets or in the playoffs. Like it's just baseball culture. Like it's better when the Giants and the Cowboys are in the playoffs.
Everybody's talking shit. You know, it's like Yankees, Mets. It's a nice buzz in the city for sure.
Correct. So like we don't know because look at Cano. Cano got hurt too. It's just a lot of stuff that you just don't know.
Yeah, the Mets definitely deal with some stuff. I also think too, when you have a losing culture, you might not be as hurt as you're saying you're hurt, right?
Exactly.
So if you're gonna get paid regardless, you're like, fuck that. I got a pull hammy.
Oh, my back hurt.
Yeah, like I'm good.
My
Let me get that
hurt.
money. Let me lay up and just chill. You know what's crazy though? They've been to am I not mistaken? Didn't they like end up in the postseason like hot just a few years ago, and then like the next year they just fizzle out? I mean, they had
they were hurt. That's the issue.
I know they had what was the Dark Knight's name? The pitcher, I think it was Dave or David something. They had like
and they took about okay. They called it Dark Knight.
Yeah, and then he got injured, and then it was like
it was over.
So it's not like the Mets are not trying and they're not attempting.
They just get hurt.
Yeah,
every year. I have Met fans. I have Met friends who are fans, and they be like, "Yo, you see the Mets? They cooking, yeah." And I'm like, "It's April. Wait till June, because once June hits, shit goes south for the Mets every time. That's why like Aaron Boone last year should have won Manager of the Year because they were hurt. The Yankees were hurt almost the whole year. No Stanton, no Judge, and they still made the playoffs and was cooking.
I know they did. They actually had. First of all, I tip my cap to the coach. He's so great. I didn't think he was gonna be that awesome, and Aaron Boone has done amazing things. And I'm not trying to go off topic, but do you think it's because they understand how, or maybe they're a little bit unconventional, like you're saying, and they're bringing up some of their younger talent?
Maybe.
From what you've seen though with the Yanks.
Because
they're hurt every year too. They're hurt every year.
Yep. And it has to do with these guys just being jacked, like
right
playing 100 games and then being a bodybuilder. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah, I agree.
for you. You know, like
They're not designed. It's not designed to do all that.
exactly. You're not
Which
supposed
I
to have the
thought,
muscles so tight.
which is what I thought that baseball should have took a little bit from what they found so much success with COVID. I would shave down the season, half the season, bro. And
They
I think you've
should.
talked about it too. You don't compete with the NBA. You don't compete with the NFL. You know, you keep your fans invested. And instead of it being like the beginning of the postseason in September, it's kind of midway.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna keep more eyeballs. I don't know. I'm with you a little bit. It's nice when the Mets kind of get their act together, but history has proven
Yeah.
they just can't stay out of their own way, which is brutal. All right, sticking with the NYC, another huge headline, and you tell me if it's final.
Hmm.
The beard heads to Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's
Is it that?
official. That's
Okay.
all 100%.
He went to Instagram and signed the fucking paper and took his
he's
little
done.
picture.
He's done. He's already in Brooklyn. Now the big question mark is Kyrie. Kyrie's on some.
What's up with my man?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, let's take a quick pause before we dig into Homeboy. Back to what we were saying earlier to kind of bring the picture, full circle. You can't hang out with your family now. You can't throw parties for your family. Like I get that, it's kind of against the law to have large groups of.
The issue is
gatherings.
here's the issue. If your employer has it in your contract where stuff could get revised, and your employer's protocols state you can't be seen in public without a mask amongst other people,
Okay, that makes sense.
you can't do it.
Right, that's true.
Just like Patrick Mahomes can't play pickup basketball. Just like Patrick Mahomes can't go jet skiing or do anything else but play fucking football.
Whatever the fuck. Yeah.
It's in his contract. So it's in whatever the collective bargaining agreement with the NBA and the NBA PA. You can't. COVID protocols dictate you can't be in a crowd maskless.
No,
It's
that makes
just
total
that.
sense. Yeah.
Now,
So now, go ahead, finish up.
it's not to say you can't hang out with your family, but you
Right.
can't be at a party,
Right, and posting pictures and be maskless.
video,
and
maskless.
20 motherfuckers.
And then, but that's not the only thing. The only on top of that is that you don't even call your bosses to say you're not going to play. You text your teammates saying that you're not going to play,
Oh shit! Damn.
and then you just your reason for not playing is you don't feel like it.
Wow.
Like how does that all work
This is what I want to
together?
ask real quick. Has Kyrie lost trade value? Because at this
Oh,
point,
for
I would've
sure.
traded.
He's not can't. Wait,
You're stuck. You're
wait,
stuck with homeboy.
what are you gonna
$25
do?
I don't know. Trade him for like 3 bench players.
You can't.
Fuck it. No.
Who you gonna trade him for? What if he doesn't? He could retire mid trade, or he can go somewhere else, right? If they do trade him.
Tell him to fucking LA. I'm sure LA will take him.
No, they don't. Nobody fucking wants him in LA. LeBron doesn't want to deal with him. No shot. But what I'm saying is, like, even if you train it to a bum ass team, that bum ass, he could be like, all right, I'm not gonna play. My knee hurts. My elbow hurts. My stomach hurts. My fingers
You know what's
fucked
so
up.
crazy? Homeboy to me has top 10 talent, and he just can't stay out of his own mind.
That's the
He's a good
issue
player,
that we spoke about last week.
Yeah, a little bit. We were talking about how
Players wanting greatness, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He already has probably 150 mil in the bank.
Facts, and he's got a chip, so there's nothing else.
What are you gonna do? Like,
He don't got nothing else to prove, right?
You,
Does he really give a fuck if Shaquille O'Neal or some of these guys on these sports shows say that he's a top 10 player of all time? He could care less, I'm sure.
exactly. And then like and I get it. Like if you're trying to be there in social justice and do things, you can play and talk about it. Look at LeBron. That's the one thing. LeBron is 10 out of 10. He gets my utmost respect. He talks about social issues, and then he comes and cooks you on the court. Like,
Yeah. That's a little Kobe about him. He does fucking show up big time.
like there's no. Oh, I don't
How
feel
did you
like.
that no look 3-pointer, by the way?
Yeah, it was dope. It was funny.
Right?
But for Kyrie, like Kyrie's not the only person in the NBA who's trying to affect social justice. There's other players in the NBA who are trying to talk to the community leaders, to the DA, to the police chiefs, and all like that, and they still show up for fucking work.
Yeah, that's true. I think we all show up for work.
You
right?
can't.
Everybody does.
you can't say you don't feel like playing basketball when they're paying you to play basketball. What you should do is maximize your platform, maximize the NBA. Use all the 50 reporters that you got to talk to get your message across. You know, call people out by name. You know, support people out by name using your platform. You know, like you being quiet and you not like reaching out to your boss.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Who's paying you?
Paying your bills.
And then you force, and then you didn't force, but you convinced KD to go to Brooklyn. You know, like you've convinced KD to go there. KD could have went anywhere. Like to me, if I was KD, where I really would have went, I would have went to the Mavericks. Would have had Luka, him, and Porzingis. Like that's where he could have went. But now you force him to come to New York, and now you don't show up for KD. He already dealt with one head case of Westbrook as a PG. Now he has to deal with you as a PG. Like, come on, fam. Like it's just not fair.
All right, so if Homeboy shows up for whenever he wants, right? Forget about him. Is Kevin Durant and James Harden enough to make noise in the East in the playoffs?
It's just tough because you got rid of some of your, you got rid of Karis LeVert. You got rid of Jared Allen. So now you expecting Joe Harris and Jeff Green to pick up the slack, and it'll be tough. It's gonna be interesting. You know, what they can do is go wait till the buyout market comes out, where you have some of these guys who are on bad teams who wants to get bought out their contract. Who knows? They go out and get Kevin Love. You know, that could be a good piece for them. A spot up big man shooter, spreads the floor.
They still need more, is what you're saying, and they lost by addition too, because they lost guys.
Correct. To get James, and then remember that they mortgaged their future. They give away four first round picks.
Damn,
that's expensive. And then pick swaps on top of that.
That seems like way too much to give up for Harden. Especially if you got Kyrie.
I thought so too. Because then you remember, I think, well, you got Harden and KD locked up for the next 3 years. That's their contracts. But Harden has rubbed people the wrong way. Look at Chris Paul. Look at Dwight Howard. Look at Russell Westbrook.
Right. So now other people might not be so intrigued to come and play.
Exactly.
And you got Kyrie there.
And then and then KD's sensitive. What if they get into a spat? And then you got Kyrie who doesn't show up for work. You have this.
That just sounds like a dumpster fire to me. That sounds like everything's gonna go wrong in Brooklyn. Like based on the knowledge that you just told me, it doesn't look good.
It doesn't. But we don't know. We don't know if
no, I do know. I've seen this happen.
If KD comes and slaps everybody, but he's not about that life.
Fucking Harden disappears in the playoffs, and you can make an argument that Kevin Durant is a little bit brittle when it comes to injury. So you got an injury plagued guy. You actually got potentially 2 injury plagued guys, and you got a guy who just disappears. I don't think it was a good investment. Moving forward,
it's
hard. That's a tough situation.
You put the GM into a bad spot. You put your
put everybody. Bro. You put the organization. You put ownership. You put the GM, you put the other players, because now if you lose a game, you're going to have the media with the mics and shit like, yo, what happened? Like, think about this. They're trying to play basketball. They got to ask, Kevin Durant a million questions about Kyrie instead of asking him like, hey, you scored 30 and 10. How did you feel about the game? Your body feels loose. You haven't played in a year. Stuff that's relevant to the game. We got to be like, yo, where's Kyrie at? Did he show up? Is he at his mama's party? Is he at his sister's party? Where he's at? You know what I mean? And then
that's the
on
tough
top
part.
of that, dude, that's a lot, bro. Then you kind of got a depleted bench. And then plus, who knows what kind of teammate Harden is? Fuck, bro.
And then you force KD. Now, KD is forced to play back-to-backs ahead of schedule coming off the Achilles. So, like, they weren't – I'm pretty sure they didn't want Kevin Durant to play back-to-backs this early. So you fucked up the whole timeline. Kyrie fucked up the whole timeline because then he's taking games off and he was off for 9 months.
Bro, he was off for a long time. He was off in the Celtics. He was off in the Brooklyn Nets.
Exactly.
Nobody's been hitting a lot of vacation time.
So what are you going to take games off? Like, isn't
the fucking saying in sports like no days off? Isn't that like a fucking thing, right? Like fucking LBJ tries to play with cramps. You got MJ like we talked the last time. Playing with flu. Like the whole point, especially in the NBA, it's about toughness, right? I'm not saying that other sports are not about toughness, but it seems like especially the marquee players got to show up and do their thing, and then it seems like you got a 3-ring circus in Brooklyn.
It's the new Barnum and Bailey. That's all I can say about that. It's true, man. I just don't know what they're gonna do because.
So at this point, what you were saying earlier about homeboy, because I wanted to touch on this too, rubbing past teammates. When we look back and Harden's out of the league, he's definitely not a top 10 player. What do we view James Harden's legacy at? An okay player that was a decent shooter. Like
but he's gonna go down as one of the most prolific scorers just because
because his numbers are crazy. Homeboy be scoring 50 like every day.
Correct. So like, it's just tough because he didn't win. So who knows what it's gonna be now? So like right now he's probably a
top 20,
top 50 player right now, top 40 player right now.
And he has a lot of the intangibles and the tools. I mean, homeboy is talented. He's
skilled because he's not a leaper. He's not the most athletic person on the court. You know, it's all about using his body angles.
Business, bro. He's an efficient scorer, dude. He is. I mean, I've watched him play, and I'm like, wow. Why can't you play like this every day, especially in the playoffs? Exactly. You'd be a beast.
Well, because remember playoffs now, they get to watch you for
I get you
for 2 weeks straight. They get to study you and stuff like that.
And defense goes from patty to all-star
for sure.
Because they give you lanes in the regular season.
Exactly.
In the post.
Now, they're trying to come over and block you from the weak side.
Yes.
So contest you from the weak side. They'll give you a hard foul or
we'll take fouls all day. Exactly. You got a dude on the bench that just gives fouls.
Exactly.
It's like, go ahead, go foul him right now. You didn't even do anything.
So it all depends. And man, his legacy is he's gonna become an iconic player. He's gonna become an iconic figure. He's gonna probably be like Allen Iverson.
Okay, that's actually a really good comparison, I would say.
He'll be like that, like iconic,
like people, his name will ring bells, but it won't ring that many bells. It's not going to be like,
correct.
He'll be the greatness argument.
Correct. He will never be in the category for the greatest player of all time along those lines. He'll probably be they trying to make a case for him to be one of the best scorers ever, but it's, you got KD.
It's hard, bro. Come on. Forget about that, bro. You got fucking Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, like that, bro. These guys score so much.
Like, they did it big moments.
History. That too, Not only are they scoring, they always show up. But not only that, because of their longevity, their overall, point scoring is just astronomical. So one more thing, and we'll slide off of this real quick. From what you've seen and everything, again, can he turn the corner?
I hope so. He's 31.
I was supposed to say he's been in the league 10 years already?
About.
Yeah. So if it hasn't happened now, it's probably not going to happen.
He's probably stuck in his ways already. Like it's a difficult topic to try to dissect because you don't know what they're going to be. You've pushed away. You pushed away Dwight Howard in the middle, towards the middle of his prime, almost end of his prime. You pushed him away. You pushed Chris Paul away when you guys were one game away from the finals. You pushed Westbrook away when supposedly you guys were the bestest friends on the whole entire planet. If you're not gonna get along with your homeboy, how are you gonna get along with other people who aren't your homeboy? So it's gonna be. He holds some accountability here when people are leaving, and you're the one who's always there. They gotta be. It has to be. You have to play some part in that. With James, and who knows? KD's sensitive. Kyrie doesn't show up. We just don't know how that dumpster fire is gonna come out. If they win, it'll be great. But I don't see how they can if the chemistry's not there.
Now, real quick, I gotta start diving more into the NBA. It just came up on me so quickly. Outside of BK, who's 2 and 3 in the East?
You got the Bucks, and you got the Celtics. You got Miami.
Those are good teams. Fuck, those are good teams, bro. You're not gonna beat those teams just by fucking half-assing it.
Yeah, so you got to show up. You got to rebound. You got to defend. You got to, it's gonna be tough. James don't play without the ball. He doesn't.
I know we've talked about that.
He doesn't do backdoor cuts. He doesn't come off screens. He doesn't, pick and pop. He doesn't do those things. He does. Who knows? Maybe he'll do it here to sacrifice to win a championship. But I don't know. I don't.
Not looking good.
The only person who's gonna do that out of the three of them is KD. He could catch and shoot. He could come off screens. He could be the guy who spots up. But who's gonna be what they were talking about? Who's gonna be the Chris Bosh? Who's gonna be the Kevin Love? Like Kyrie already thinks he's the smartest guy on the planet. His ego's gonna get into it. James Harden's been scoring 35 points a game every year.
I was just gonna say, it seems like you got a bunch of scorers.
Exactly.
Right? Kyrie wants to rock. Harden wants to rock.
Exactly.
Poor KD, bro. You know what I mean? You think he puts his contract in Brooklyn?
Well, he has 2 more years. So
no, I know. But can't you I don't know how it works in the NBA. Can't you say I want out of here? Give me a trade.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if he's gonna do that.
That's what I'm saying.
I think he's
he bites it out.
I think because he wanted to come to New York to work on his media company in New York. So his media. Who knows if he bought out his contract, because now obviously you can't have no offices here. Everything's probably remotely online anyway now because of COVID.
Right. So it doesn't even matter if you have a physical building
anymore. So
everything online. So you don't even need the whole. I need to be in New York to have a presence in New York. You could do New York from a fucking studio in Connecticut or Florida.
And you didn't even need to do that even before that. He didn't need to be, but he wanted to be in the East Coast. He wanted to be in New York. He's from DC. So
right. No, I get it. I mean, you know what's the really sad thing about this, and we'll jump off, is the Knicks are never gonna be good, bro, ever, as long as James Dolan is there. And it sucks because Madison Square Garden has had some of the most amazing spectacles there to be watched, and we're never gonna be in the building. And now you give some hope to New York with Brooklyn, and it just is not looking good either, bro. I mean, they were better when they had a bunch of no-namers. They were playing way better. They were competitive. They were 500 basketball.
And the Knicks, the thing with the Knicks is people caught on. Like, you get to see history, right? So, they haven't won since 74 or 76. So,
73.
73. All right, so since 73. You're not fooling anybody.
Right.
People could have smartphones now.
Good.
It's 2005. Yeah, we about to the Knicks, baby. And then you look at it. When the last time? 73. What? Hold on. We're in 2020 now. 2015, 2017, 2018. And one thing I could say about the Knicks, and I feel bad for them, is that they always get shitty
draft picks. They get fucked on the draft pick shit.
In the draft,
the lottery. They get shitted on the lottery. That my man from the Pelicans should have been a Knick. That was bullshit.
Total
That bullshit.
Zion. Yep.
Yes.
And then you hear stories like Steph wants,
Barnett.
And you hear stories. Steph Curry wanted to be a Knick.
And so did KD. And so did LeBron James.
And the Warriors.
LeBron James was a Knick. Fucking come on, we're losing so many dudes.
But I think if KD and LeBron, let's say if LeBron said, "All right, I'm coming to New York." Let's just say if he said that, right?
For whatever reason, his son gets drafted because they're bums.
And but say prior to that, let's say when he switched from Cleveland to go to New York. If he does that, right, and then he says to the Knicks fan base, boycott the Knicks, he has that enough power to do that.
It'll be over.
And James Dolan would have had to enforce this out, most likely.
Oh, I got that.
You understand what I'm saying? He had the power to do that.
Right. He's a huge influencer.
He'd be like, "Yo, I'm coming to the Knicks. Look, I'm signing the contract. But I want you guys to all boycott because I don't want James Dolan in the NBA." He had that power, or has that power.
Still has that power.
Who knows? Maybe he buys the Knicks from James Dolan. That's a possibility.
That is a possibility. Do you think? And that's the thing. I don't even know what his net worth is. Will LeBron be the first billionaire athlete?
He's already there.
He's already
with all his assets and stuff like that. He sent $1 billion lifelong contract with Nike. He's already have that. He has that. He probably has it. He probably has maybe 400 million, 500 million in the bank, but he probably has over $1 billion in assets.
And he does so much shit. He's got TV shows now. He's got YouTube channels. Homeboy's doing it all, and then you get the cut. Before we leave, by the way, do you like out of those three guys? Who's your favorite sneaker? The Kyrie, the LeBron, or the KD? They're all Nikes, right?
Yeah. It depends
Like
on
this
what times. So like
right.
Kyrie's were dope one year. KD's shits was
Okay.
dope one year. LeBron's
The
shits were dope.
consistent is
Yeah,
LeBron, right?
yeah.
His for the most part every season is pretty fire, right?
Almost every season. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was never a big fan of his sneakers anyway, but like Kyrie
I
has
like this. Look
Kyrie has
cool.
some dope shit.
I just don't like that they're low tops. The Kyries and the fucking KDs.
Well, they took it from Kobe because remember, like,
I know, I know. When he did the
because
low
the
cut
low top, like Kobe, he said it. He said that he noticed how like soccer players put so much more torque on their ankles, cutting left and right and putting all these different angles, and they wear their shits below their ankles.
I never thought about that. So does the NFL. A lot of NFL guys have like low, you know.
because you have to cut quick, juke,
So it was
agility.
supposedly idea to keep your ankle together because you're always jumping around and shit. But now they realize that probably that
Correct.
science doesn't make that much sense.
It's more of like a myth, like because you're gonna tape it anyway and wear ankle braces anyway.
That's true. You're gonna be wearing all types of shit, sleeves or whatever the fuck. they put on you.
Exactly.
Tape.
And if you,
All right, so
if you twist your ankle, you're gonna twist your ankle, regardless.
Facts.
So,
There's nothing. It's gonna be all the tape and the whole goddamn. The only thing the tape is gonna do is keep that shit right there.
Yep.
Once you come back
From
down,
breaking or some shit.
spraining your ankle is terrible.
Yep.
I don't. This is the worst thing in the whole
It
wide
is.
world.
Definitely is.
So this is gonna be my favorite. I've been waiting for this for a hot minute. I teased it out last week. We did our top 5 receivers.
Mm-hmm.
This week we're gonna do our top 5 quarterbacks, and it was weird because when we did the whiteouts, we gave them at least a 3-year window, right?
Okay.
I was thinking about moving it up for the QB to like a 5-year window.
Okay.
Or you think do you think 3 is still good?
You want to, I guess, keep it 3 because you have some guys who probably be in the top 5 who haven't even been in the league for 5 years.
That's what I was saying, right? Yeah, okay, so 3. That's what I was thinking because there's only one guy who doesn't fit that, which is the obvious. But okay, so we'll say the 3 most dominant QBs over the last 3 years, right?
Okay.
And forward, right? But we give the 3 year to kind of give us have they been balling or not. So out the gate, automatic slam dunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has to be Tom Brady, right?
Okay.
Right? Yes, correct.
He won a chip in the last 3 years, right? Yeah, he did.
He did. Yeah, he totally did. I think he won the year before Chiefs did. Because that year the Chiefs lost to them, they won.
Oh, yeah.
Then the following he got bumped, then he got traded, and then we're in this year. I think this is that
Correct.
third year. I want to go that way.
Because they beat the Rams.
Yes.
But he looked
cool.
But he didn't look great.
He looked average, but again, he was also playing, arguably one of the best defenses in the league. Donald is going to go down.
All right, so let's narrow this down.
Let's get it.
Is it regular season?
Yes, only
Regular season.
But the greatness obviously helps with chips.
But it's tough because you have the mystique of Tom Brady's mystique. That's what
All
I'm
right,
saying. So because he hasn't led in any. He wasn't in the top 5 categories of anything. Like this year, he cooked in touchdowns. I think he led the league in touchdowns. But
wow.
But like that's just this year with the Bucks. Last year he was okay, and the year before that he was okay. So you understand what I'm saying? So it was like
no, makes sense. It makes sense because we also need some stats.
Correct.
To go with, right? Okay, so let's put him at 1A.
All right, what's your top 5?
And he goes right over there. I don't know. I've been battling with it a little bit, right? Okay. So I would go. Patty has to be 1.
Okay.
If you take Tom Brady out, 2, Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
But I struggle with that too. But his numbers are just phenomenal, and he's been doing it the longest. And I argue with a Chiefs fan, and I said that you might have to put Rodgers 1 because of the longevity. Like he's been in the building, destroying numbers for a hot minute. So. We'll fuck around with the top 3. So it's going to be Patrick, Rodgers, and then Russell.
Okay.
Right? That's decent. Then there's a cliff.
Okay.
Same shit with wide receivers. Okay. So now we go down. Do we qualify Deshaun Watson? Maybe at 5. Or is that a push? That's too much because he hasn't really.
We can't leave We can't leave Breeze out of there either. That's it.
No, Breeze, I would say Breeze would be 4 for sure. He's a lock for 4.
So we got
at this point we got guys that are winning. At least I think also a qualifier has to be potentially maybe winning a chip, right? If we're thinking about greatness, like all of those guys I mentioned have a chip.
Correct.
Except for Watson.
Correct.
Right?
You
got Patrick, you got Rodgers, you got Russell, and then you got Breeze, and each guy has
And
one.
then Brady. So you want Brady to top 5?
Always like on the top.
But that's
right?
the issue. So like,
Yeah, this is why it's good to talk about it.
So all right. So that's it. The last 3 years are basically Patrick Mahomes' third year.
Right. That's why I said that's why I put it at 3 years.
So his first year, he played one game.
Right.
He played the last game. Second year, pops
Kind of
off
emerged.
5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, MVP of the league.
Facts. I take that back. He didn't kind of emerge. He exploded on the scene.
Third year. No, sorry. This is his fourth year.
He did a 50. No. You're right.
This is his fourth year. This is his fourth year.
Fourth year. You're right.
This is his fourth year now, currently, right now.
Correct. Yes.
So third year, balls out, wins the Super Bowl. His third year, and then now he's able 15-1. What did they go? 15-1, I think.
15-1, and I said that they could have went undefeated.
Okay, so now
his resume right out the gate, by the way, is ridiculous.
If we're going by the 3-year window, he's number one.
Okay, boom. That's okay. So that's
we have to go by his number one.
I got you. That's what I thought. He's number one. Who's two then?
Two would have to be
Rodgers or Russell.
It would have to be Rodgers or Russell. The only thing I would probably just put Russell above Rodgers. The only reason why I would do that is because he went to 2 Super Bowls. He won one, and then now everything is either Russell or bust. Even though with Packers it is Rodgers or bust. Don't get me wrong.
Correct.
But like Russell,
he does more with less. He does way more with less.
Correct.
Because Aaron Rodgers has had good defenses. Aaron Rodgers has had good running backs, good wide receivers. You could argue that Russell Wilson hasn't had jack shit.
Well, he had
Lynch for a minute
for offensive purposes, yes. But his defense, he had the Legion of Boom. Like that defense was insane.
He did, and then all of a sudden they thought he was some kind of.
Let's say all right. So I will put I'll put Rodgers 2. Let's go just Rodgers 2. Then we got Russell 3. I will probably put Brady 4 and Breeze 5.
Okay, so now let's see who could have been making the cut. Ben Roethlisberger, no go.
No bueno. Well, he gets fucked because of last year because he was out the whole year. So that's 1 year. We got to go. This year his numbers didn't pop off the sheet.
Right.
And then the year before that, I think he had a good season. So, but we going by a 3-year window, right?
Right.
So he's kind of disqualified just because he didn't play last year, and then this year they were a fraud 11-5.
Yes, 100%.
Or 12 and whatever they went. They went 11-5.
All right. So let's look at the
so you want the fridge? Then we have the fringe people on the outside looking in.
Right. Because I'm thinking like 4 and 5 could get played with because you could also argue that Breeze's numbers for the last 3 years was soft too.
True.
Because I would take out Breeze and put Lamar Jackson. Right? Because Lamar Jackson, his numbers is ridiculous. He cooked. I looked at his shit, not scrambling. Last year, homeboy threw 30+ touchdowns. That's not easy, especially in the sense of people have argued that he's not a good thrower. Right? And he's also been a 3-year guy. The only thing is this season, rookie year, 6 TDs, 3 touchdowns, and then
he played like towards the end of his rookie season.
Right, and then 19 he explodes 36 and 6. That's crazy. And then he follows that up with 26 and 9 for a guy that can't throw the rock outside the numbers.
I would put Deshaun over Lamar.
Okay, now I brought up Deshaun. Let's look at Deshaun. That's what I'm saying. So I think you got to take out Breeze and 5 is still open because potentially you might have to put Deshaun in there.
Yeah, I would put Deshaun over Lamar.
Correct. But now what's your argument for doing that?
Because if quarterback, you have to be it's throwing the ball to me. Like I'm not trying to take away the legs.
I got you. He's a speed guy. He's half runner, half thrower, not full thrower, which is what would qualify. Best quarterback, not best running quarterback.
So that's why I would go with Deshaun at number 5 because he's a better thrower of the football than
100%. Look at his rookie year, 19 and 8. The following 26 and 9. The year after that, and I think one of these years was the injury year, which is crazy. 26 and 12, and then this season, no one's even talking about it, bro. He threw for almost 5,000 yards with nobody, and 33 and 7. Yep. That's ridiculous.
But they lost. That's why. But
No, I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. What I'm saying is, also he's overshadowed with the fact that he's in the South and he's in the Texans. There's a lot of reasons why he doesn't get the love. I don't think he gets enough airtime, and the Texans have just been a horrible dumpster fire
for sure.
So that's it. So that puts us there. So we got Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. You said Tommy?
Yep.
And then
Deshaun Watson. That's our top 5.
That's good.
Yep.
So then for Fringer, is Lamar or still because he's half-half?
No, you could, I guess.
It's hard, right? I mean, he came from an MVP season. That's why I'm saying. I mean, even though homeboy can't throw, he still threw 30 touchdowns.
No, for sure. But like when you like, it's still a part of his game. Like I can't take it as another part of his game. Like, but
agreed.
The threat of him running, if safeties come down, you get the whatever over the top, or he runs and then he throws, hit somebody open. Cool, but it just like if I had to go, what happens if? My thing is, what happens if that ability gets taken away from him? I need
they're not the same player.
Correct. I need him to throw the ball. Like I need somebody who can throw the ball, and I'm not discounting him, but like
no.
Justin Herbert looked like a better quarterback than him this year.
Wow. As a pure thrower,
you know what I'm saying? Like just pure thrower. Yeah. Justin Herbert didn't come out and saying, well, the defenses know our plays, which is Lamar did, like Justin went out there and just balled. I think Justin Herbert he threw 36 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's coming up real good. I mean, I think they're the Chargers, but they got very lucky landing him. He's going to be special.
And I would like to say that I called Anthony Lynn being fired at the end of this year.
You totally did, but to be honest with you, I don't think Anthony Lynn should have gotten fired.
I think so. I think he should have.
He lost Joey. He lost Joey Bosa. That was the Niners that they lost second Bosa. But even though the defense has been plagued with injuries, the offense kind of really didn't figure out. And the fact that at least they were competitive, like I'm a little fatigued with the fact that you just fire guys.
The issue is right. This is when stuff become.
What, 2 years or 3 years?
I think it was his 3rd year.
Okay,
but you got to go with the pattern. So
the pattern.
The pattern is they slap people in the first half. He can't make adjustments and they win the game and close out in the second half.
Okay, that's actually a really good point.
So like even his first year, they would get really close ball games and they would lose.
Yeah, they've lost a lot of
everything is like 7 points and under. Like they would lose games by a touchdown or a field goal. Like they'll be up. Look how much they were up this year: 27-4. 27-3, 28-10.
Beating the Chiefs,
21-7. They're up, and in the second half, they get shut out in the second half, or don't even do anything in the second half.
Besides that point, do you have another point why he should have been fired?
It's winning and losing. That's the only point. That's the major point for me.
No, I get you. I think that he related to the players. I think that he understood guys. I like that he was a younger guy. I feel like he's able to relate with the players more, and he provides diversity in a league, at least at the coaching position that doesn't have enough.
And
diversity.
Who's to say? This wasn't reported. This ain't nothing. I'm just speaking purely speculation. Is what if ownership met with Justin Herbert or called him on the phone and said, hey, what do you think about Coach Lynn?
That's true.
Or they called the leaders of the team.
Right. Which there's barely any. I mean, I think they just got a raw deal too, because look, what was it, a couple of years ago? And I think Lynn was in the building. Fucking Hunter Henry wasn't healthy. Allen wasn't healthy.
Derwin James can't stay healthy.
I'm saying Derwin James is another motherfucker. It looks like Joey Bosa's an animal, but his engine runs out midway through games too. I also think too, to make another argument on that second half shit, their defense also disappears too. So you might be able to draw it up, but if your fucking guys are fucking giving up on plays, like I've seen Bosa winded, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't be winded chasing somebody fucking 100 snaps.
Yeah.
Oh, I pay you mad money for you not to be winded.
Correct. And they just they gave him
they sub him out of 3rd and shorts. That's crazy to me. I need you in that play, Papa.
You're a $100 million player.
Come on, my man. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with the Lynn thing. I would have gave him 1 more year. I would have signed him for 1 year contract, and I would have said, look, next year it's all on you.
Remember, and also too, like put it like this: you can't trust. This is another thing that I just thought about. You can't trust his judgment when you were going to start Tyrod Taylor over Justin Herbert.
Whoa, that was not his fault. That's not his fault.
Of course it is. The players, the players know, and players are like 10 could play.
Listen, bro, I'm not even a fucking player, and I could have told you that Tay-Rod wasn't the guy. But that's not the point, because when I was talking to, shout out to John Conti, and he was at fucking Charger camp, he's telling me, I'm like, you're fucking delusional. He's like, Tay-Rod looks amazing. He's got so much command of the offense. The players were buying into Tay-Rod. They were not buying into 10 at that point. And 10 was a rookie. And this is a fucking Bruce Arians thing, and it's kind of poisonous in the NFL. They don't respect rooks. They don't. They don't give a fuck what you did in college. So 10 could have came in fucking ripping up the field, but at the end of the day, Tay-Rod won the fucking job. So, and he didn't sign him. The ownership did.
But it all depends on how you are the head coach. Your job is to evaluate the talent and put the best player.
They should have fucking signed Fitzpatrick. That's what they should have signed. And that guy would have been fucking cooking for them. You know what I mean?
But like, even it doesn't matter. Like, all right. So look at Russell Wilson, right? The year he came into the league, he was a rookie.
Yeah.
He came into the league.
Tell me the story. I love the story.
He came into the league. They signed
late.
I think like early fourth. I think he got drafted in third round. Whatever the case may be, he got drafted late. He's a rookie.
Yep.
They signed homeboy from the Packers. I forgot what his name was. Yep. They signed him to like $67 million.
A lot of fucking money
for 3 years, and he outplayed him.
I got that. That sounds great. And Pete Carroll's a fucking man for pulling the trigger on that. But do you know how many other guys don't do that?
For sure.
Tons.
But
a lot of teams.
But again, you are the head coach. It falls on you.
I don't think that that's true. I think that there's a lot of moving parts in that shit.
You're responsible at the end of the day.
No, but that sucks, though.
It does suck, but that's what you signed up for.
I got you, daddy. But I feel like, look, if you're fucking Bill Belichick and you're like, fucking bench this motherfucker, you got way more control over the airwaves. If you're fucking Anthony Lynn and you've been a defensive coordinator your whole fucking life and this is your first fucking HC job and you say something, I'm like, nah. Go sit in the corner, daddy, and go work on the fucking defense. This is who we're going with.
That's how it works, though.
Because the Chargers have been known for fucking meddling GMs. That's been their shit.
For sure.
So, anyways, we don't want to get too much of a tangent on whether or not Anthony Lynn got screwed over or not. What I wanted to bring in was another French player because we didn't get a chance to touch on this a little bit, and we are going to in a second. Now, where's Josh Allen? Because Josh Allen's got to be knocking on the door.
We'll see. I gotta see.
Still. Okay, so look, if we're going, let's just for the shits and giggles, right? Let's think about 6. So Lamar's not 6. You put Breeze at 6.
You would have to leave. Well, now, yes. Yeah. Huh? Over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So you leave Breeze 6th, then you probably Lamar 7th. You got probably.
You're not getting an Allen in there, even in the top 10?
Maybe.
Because at that point, you can put Phillip Rivers at fucking 8.
Don't forget, we can't forget about Dak. Dak's numbers look stupid. And Dak's a winner.
They do. Actually, if we just no chips, he has to be into the argument probably higher. Because his numbers are crazy.
Yeah, his numbers are stupid too. So it's like, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of factors when you go into 10.
There is a lot of factors.
But you could go you could throw Josh in there now just because of this season. Remember, if you go 3, go to the last 3 years.
Season, ready? 2018, 10-12. That's his rookie year. Yeah. He makes a jump in his sophomore year, 20-9, and then his motherfucking junior year, 37-10. So he almost threw for 40 touchdowns. That's beast mode.
True. So he's up and coming. Not yet. Remember, we're using the 3-year criteria.
Well, man, it's brutal.
You got to
call him. I'm going to call my friend Josh Allen and tell him, say, Josh, I'm loving the streets for you, daddy. Okay.
He's on his way.
Do you believe? Like, what do you got to do? You got to see a whole nother year of phenomenalness for you to even, I know phenomenalness is not a word, but another year of him performing at this level.
The high level.
To put him in?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because remember, you're going to have some guys leaving. You have Drew's leaving.
Lamar can't even be counted either because Lamar is being granted 2 years too. So these are two-year players.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
You know,
so he can't.
I'm trying to think. Go down the list. You can't even think.
It'd have to be Breeze, Ben Roethlisberger, and you'd have to switch. It'd have to be Breeze.
Because remember, Drew Brees is out after this year, so that's one guy.
Phillip Rivers, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, and Ben Roethlisberger are probably those guys that are kind of.
Because you got him leaving too. You know, then you could throw Baker Mayfield in there.
I know. I was thinking about that, but Baker qualifies under what we said about the 3-year window.
This is his 4th year, isn't it? This is his 3rd year.
They were in the same draft. Lamar Jackson, Baker
So I'm
Mayfield, saying,
saying, so you got, this is so he set the record for passing touchdowns off his rookie year.
which is crazy.
You know, you got that. And last year,
I like
he
him.
ended up,
I think he cooked last
this
year
year's
too.
another. It's tough because you want, or the criteria is right. My
Wins?
mind is if when everything isn't going well, can you win the game?
Agreed. Yes, I still don't think Baker Mayfield's there yet.
He's not. He's not. Even Lamar's not there.
I think Josh Allen is though. I don't think Lamar is though.
Even Lamar, I don't even know if Josh Allen is there either.
The only thing about Lamar is that Lamar could outrun the whole fucking team.
Correct. He's dynamic and flashy, and it shit looks awesome. But you don't know.
Right.
We don't know.
So then basically 6 has to be Brees.
Yeah.
When the game falls apart,
he could win.
He can win.
He could win you the game. And
he's put like household name, not household names on the map. Because Michael Thomas, if he was on another team, he probably wouldn't. I'm not saying he wouldn't be as good, but now he's famous because he gets thrown passes by Drew Brees.
Because you got to look at everybody. Everybody else is or bum, not like bum quality. So you got. It's nobody because you could put Dak is probably like 9 or 10. Like Dak is in the top 10. So then, then after that is you can't really Jared Goff. No,
bro, they got so lucky last week.
You know, you got Derek Carr. I think if Derek Carr goes to a better system, he would do better. Like if I'm the Broncos,
watch with your eyeballs.
If I'm
would trade for him?
If I'm the Broncos, I would trade for Derek Carr.
Okay, so what do you think? It's just a scheming situation in Oakland? Yeah, okay.
Plus, you don't have a coach who believes in you.
That's true too.
He don't fuck with Derek Carr.
No, I know. Nobody fucks with Derek Carr. That's why I'm saying, like, you really believe? I mean, I've always liked Derek Carr. I just think that when you were just saying it as a qualifier, when the game falls apart, he falls apart too.
No, for sure. That's why he's in the top 15. Like,
okay, yeah, right.
He's not going to get into the top 10 or the top 5. But what I'm saying is,
if he gets moved,
he gets moved. Then we can't forget about Kyler Murray. You know, that's another guy who's a top 10 guy.
But I think Kyler's emerging.
No,
Kyler's
for sure.
emerging.
But like for him to do this is his second year. So for him to do what he's doing, you know,
he's cooking like a motherfucker.
Another guy,
he's probably a better thrower than Lamar.
Another guy who has Aaron Rodgers' talent is Matthew Stafford, but he doesn't win.
Right.
You know, he's stuck in Detroit. And then
hold on, we'd have to rewind that. Then that means that Matthew Stafford would make the top 10
for sure. He'll probably be 10, 9 or 10, just based on numbers.
Homeboy just throws 30 touchdowns every season, no matter what, no matter who, and he's a gutsy player. He stays in the moment. He doesn't fall apart. Homeboy's there all day.
Exactly.
So that's the back 9
for sure.
In not any particular order. Brees, Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Matthew Stafford.
You could put Lamar or Josh Allen
Lamar still,
or Dak.
I would and Dak.
You know, those are the guys you have. So it's a bright future for the.
The good news is that we know for sure Patrick, Rodgers, Russell.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Those are the top 3.
Russell too.
Yep.
Because he's more with us, right?
Yep. And they just fired his OC, so they're gonna get a new OC in Seattle.
Right. I know.
So
real quick before we bounce out, 2 questions. First question: did you really think Brian Schottenheimer was that effective? It doesn't matter that he got fired, bro.
I think they were trying to displace blame.
So somebody
Pete Carroll. So somebody had to be. Somebody had to be
walk the plank.
Correct.
Off with his head.
Because like you had Russell cooking at the beginning of the year, and then everything went to shit in the middle of the year. Then the defense became.
I feel like they should have fired the defensive coordinator if anything, because that's the one who seemed to fuck up the most. Because the offense was cooking.
But now then the second half of the season, the defense was cooking. So like.
Got you. Okay, so they figured out something.
Somebody had to go.
Got you.
And I think he was just a sacrificial lamb.
Next question. Better situation for Deshaun Watson, because we didn't even talk about it too, but he wants out of tennis. He wants out of Houston, New York, and not you motherfuckers. Jets or Pats. I know he's talking about one of the Jets, but I was throwing out.
He wants to go to the report is Miami.
Why?
They're ready to win right now.
I know, but they just drafted a quarterback.
You get rid of him and you put Deshaun.
Yo, if they do that shit, they're gangsters, motherfucker.
NFL, yes, I would have done it already.
Really?
NFL's win now time.
No, I got you. I'm with it, and you got to win with the quarterback.
Yep.
So you're not impressed with homeboy then, the lefty.
Well, he's a rookie. I'm not gonna diss this. He's
so
incomplete on the
got you.
on the critical on the
Sean and you keep Tua?
no.
Or you have to trade Tua too?
Of course.
Okay, so you're saying we if we're Miami and we move forward, you're all in on Deshaun. There's nobody on the bench making him nervous.
Yeah. Because nobody's gonna take a spot if he's a top top 10 talent anyway. You're not worried about nobody else. You're not worried about a Nick Foles situation. You're not worried about Fitzpatrick's situation. You know, like you're not gonna pull him out the game. You're not gonna bench him in the third quarter. Like Watson's your guy, and he's your franchise quarterback. But that's what I would do if I was him. I'm out there, or I'll be like, yo, I'm out to the Colts. That's another
right. I think that makes the most sense, but they would never pull that trigger because they would be the laughing stock.
Well, who?
All right. How about one more dude on only because if they start getting beat, if he goes to within the division, and then, the Colts start spanking.
But listen, he has a no trade clause, so he gets to pick where he goes.
Filthy. I love who. You know, so crazy. He just got paid.
Yeah.
Why would Houston do that?
Well, the issue was that they didn't.
He's going to be on the fucking hook for that money.
It's only a $21 million cap hit next year, which is nothing.
Okay,
which is nothing. But they fucked up because like they hired a new GM. They fired the coach.
He didn't like the GM, right? Well, they didn't advise him. They didn't advise him,
which is okay. But now, like, if he's telling you he wants Eric Bieniemy, go get him fucking Eric Bieniemy.
Bro, why? First of all, I don't know why the Jets didn't even pull the trigger on this. Why is Bieniemy still unemployed? Like, why is Homeboy still interviewing for jobs?
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's ridiculous.
I don't get it.
It's ridiculous. He should have been hired. Number one, head coach right out the gate, no questions asked. I get him in the building. I say, buddy, what is it that I need you to do so that you move your family right now? I don't even need you to leave.
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know why the Chargers didn't get him.
I don't know why any team hasn't signed this guy.
Because look what he's done with a young QB and Patrick Mahomes. Now you got a young QB with Justin Herbert.
You got a QB everywhere. You could argue that Denver's a great place. You could argue that LA is a good place. You could argue that New York's a good place. Like there's tons of places.
For him, his two pieces should have been his two destinations should have been the Chargers and the Texans. If I'm him,
yes,
because you have two quarterbacks. The cornerstone, you need a quarterback. And you have two of them. You have Justin Herbert and you have Deshaun Watson. And you already dealt with a young Patrick Mahomes. So you already know the growing pains when you get there with Justin Herbert are going to be. And you can explain to him, yo, Patty Mahomes had an issue with this defense because he saw it this way. With Deshaun, he's already more developed. So you'd be like, hey,
less. You're probably developing the other players, the wide receivers, the tight ends, the running back. You got to worry about so much.
Exactly. Worry about the defense more than the offense.
That's crazy. By the way, to be the sneaky good play if he doesn't get a job, I hire him in Seattle, or I hire him wherever there's an offensive coordinator opepening. You gotta.
I would go and pay him more, like close to head.
Yes, like what you said before. You play your OC and your D coordinators big money so you could keep them. You know what I mean? So you don't lose them because the Chiefs arguably have 3 head coaches because Spagnuolo ain't no bum either. Nope. Homeboys won 3 fucking chips as a DC. Like you gotta show.
Breaking news right now: Jags hire Urban Meyer.
Nice, thank God that
it's official.
We're pouring with him. Okay, at least we get that out. One more before we get into the picks for the weekend. JJ Watt wants out of Texas. The best place for him. New England.
Everybody's going to New England for you.
Well, the Patriots for me. If I'm the Patriots, I'm shopping. Well, I'm like, bro, they're not going to hit in the draft. They're not.
Yeah.
So let's start hiring agents.
Bill Belichick has been a proponent of never moving off players before they bust.
You're right. He might think JJ's
Watt is already done. Not done in the sense he could probably he'll help.
Sure, his best years are behind him.
Oh, sorry. Just backtrack real quick. Talk about Watson. Go. You know where you could go to? San Francisco.
Facts. By the way, he could write his own ticket right now.
Yep.
Because he could go to a lot of spots. But SF would be amazing.
Yep.
Because they quietly have a lot of really good players on offense. A lot.
All right. Now going back to JJ Watt. He would probably have to go to a team that the defense is stacked. If I'm him, you really want a funny thing? You know where I would go if I'm him?
Steelers.
I'm going to Steelers with his brother.
Thank you. Yes. And there's 2 of them. The fullback is there and the brother's there.
Yep. So you got all 3 of them.
Whole family. Sign them all. Fuck it. And you probably get JJ on a discount.
For sure. Hey, you want to play with your brother?
Yeah. and then you could play him third down specialist.
Exactly.
That way we can fucking make you
or second and long. You know, like
all that shit. All you gotta do is run and kill the quarterback.
That's it.
I don't need you to cover. I don't need you to run after the running back. You are specifically in passing downs.
And then we're talking about, or I've seen people saying, do the package deal with
Watson. I know with who? To who?
No, you trade Deshaun and T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
I mean J.J. Watt together to the Dolphins. And you said you give them another first round pick, and they get Tua and they get a first round pick.
That's what Miami's sending over. Let's say to Texas.
Correct. Because this year, this draft, Texans don't have a first round pick. It goes.
I know they fucked that up too.
It goes to Miami.
Right.
And that's a top 5 pick. So now you can go get the Deontay Smith kid.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, he's going to the. Is he eligible? Is he going to the draft?
I'm not sure, but everybody was talking like this guy's gonna be the next thing since sliced bread. So I'm like, I didn't even watch that.
You can go get him another wide receiver, or you could go get him you could even trade out of that pick. Let's say if you trade for Deshaun Watson, right? You trade out of that third pick, get more picks, and shore up the offensive line.
Why don't teams do that more? You think? Why are we not fucking trading back? Like
more, because most.
I know that we're trying to win with the quarterback, but it's like, Papa, we got like 22 other 21 other positions here. We might need somebody else.
The issue is that most teams who have good quarterbacks aren't in the top 5 or top 10.
I get that, but if you're in the top 3 or 4, right? Usually those players don't hit. If you're not 1, you might as well trade out. Because at 1 you get to pick anybody you want, basically. At 3, 4, 5, I mean, you're getting lucky at that point. Why not trade back? Get 2 2s and a 3, or switch positions and maybe get the 32nd first pick and then get something on the back end on the second. I just don't know why people don't use the draft picks. They'll trade a player for a draft pick, but they won't trade draft picks for draft picks. Doesn't make any sense.
It all depends on what, like if the Jets.
They should totally trade back. Trade.
So if I'm the Jets, right, you keep Sam Darnold, you hire Eric Bieniemy.
I love that. See, I like when you talk like that. Talk to me dirty.
And then you trade out of the top 2 pick, and you get 2 2s, 4 3s, like something.
Right, something good.
Something along those lines. You get somebody's won this year too, but you trade further back in the draft. Yeah. So let's say the Colts need it because the Colts are gonna. Well, if the Colts move to the second spot and they draft Justin Fields, Phillip Rivers looks like he's not coming back. You get a young QB. Your defense is still solid. You could move up in the draft. They just lost their tackle, their guard. Costanzo retires. The Colts guard offensive lineman retired this year, so that could be a spot. Who knows? Who knows what they do?
All right, well, that's at least that's a lot of good stuff for us to look at. That's why I love the NFL, because it seems like there's always so much movement in the offseason, right? Like you see guys and they end up in so many different places. That to me is like the fun part of the NFL is the offseason, because you get to like guess and see who's gonna go where and what's gonna happen. Yeah, and then it gets happening, and then you get to really see it in real life, which I think is awesome. But that's going to conclude the quarterback segment. Let's make sure that everybody that's still with us listens. So we got Patrick at 1, Russell at 2, Rodgers at 3, Brady at 4, and who was 5?
Deshaun.
Thank you. All right, so let's move on. We got an easy 4 games to pick real quick, and then we're gonna do one more thing and we'll get out of here. So this week, the Saturday game says Pacific. So you guys are good, man. I wish I was back on the East Coast because you guys, all the late games, I always got to get up early. But this is not too early. So it's, I think, what is it, a 4:35 start for you guys, right?
Yeah, so that's 1 o'clock for you, 1:30 for you.
The number 1 seed plays the 6th seed, and usually that's the wild card. So the wild card goes up. The Rams play the Packers in Green Bay. And Green Bay is the number 1 scoring offense versus the Rams, who are the number 1 scoring defense. What do you got?
If it's gonna be, I gotta check the weather on this. But if it's gonna be,
by the way, real quick when we're talking shit, bring up the spreads because Vegas. I can't believe we picked Seattle so hard last week, bro. Now looking back at it, I was like, man, we should have totally took fucking the Rams to cover that game, and we would have won that motherfucker.
For sure. Leagues, NFL.
It's gotta be if it's 10. Then
all right, so we got Packers are favored by 7.
7 points.
Yeah, they favored by 7. I'm gonna take the Rams to cover for sure. I think 7 is too much. Aaron Donald said he's gonna play. Jared Goff is playing. The only thing that scares me is I want to know the temperature of the game at kickoff because if it's in the frozen tundra, it doesn't say.
It's still gonna be cold regardless, bro.
No, for sure it's gonna be cold. Whatever cold
it
is. Compared from them coming from LA to the frozen tundra.
Oh, they didn't go from LA. They went from Seattle, so technically they were cold too. Remember, they were a road team.
True, but Seattle's not Wisconsin.
That is a fact.
So like, I'll probably go with the Rams to cover. I could see Aaron Rodgers doing some miraculous shit in a 2-minute drill, and Mason Crosby kicks a field goal to win the game. So I'm gonna probably go with Rams to cover, Packers win, and my outstanding player is probably gonna be. I'm gonna go with Devontae Adams because it's gonna be a fun matchup to see him and Ramsey go at it.
100%, and he's probably gonna. I think Ramsey potentially takes away Devontae in this game. But that being said, I'm gonna go opposite because it's 6. I think that's fair enough. I think Rodgers and they had a week off. I think they're gonna cook these dudes bad. I think that the Rams struggled for the first 2 quarters. They got lucky that their quarterback basically got killed, and they let Jared Goff back in the building. And if you watch the Rams play offense, they're terrible. If it wasn't for that rookie really catching fire, in the running game, I don't think the Rams have an offense. And I think that the Packers actually have a defense. They still got the Smith brothers. I like what LaFleur has done there. I'm gonna take the Packers, and I'm gonna take the 6, and I'm gonna take Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers gets no love, and I'm not a fan of him, but nobody's a better competitor than him. And at home, with a little cold, he's gonna be good. He's gonna put the hoodie on. It's gonna be a wrap. All right, so we're gonna move to the next game, and I think the next game is potentially the game of the week, if not one of the games of the year, bro.
Low key, we should do a live stream watching this game.
That would be fire. I'm totally down.
That's a potential. All right, guys, if you're listening, that might be you can watch that game. All right, so we got the Ravens on the road to Buffalo, and Buffalo's favored by 2.5.
So let me think what you think I would pick. Who do you think I'm taking?
I think you're gonna go with your man. You love Josh Allen.
X Papa NYC in the building, and 2 points. That's pretty good. I'll take
2.5. So the field goal.
Still great. Yeah, I'll still take that shit. Bills all day. That's my guy. I think Allen is gonna show up. I think the standout for me in this game is gonna be Stephon Diggs. I don't think that they got anybody who could cover homeboy. He's unbelievable. I can't say enough. I still think outside of what the coach did in Miami, I think the Bills head coach should be considered for head coach of the year. I think that Josh Allen is a top 5 talent, and I'm taking them all day. The only thing that sucks is fucking Lamar Jackson can run to the house.
For sure.
But my boys are horrible.
Buffalo's defense is good.
Yeah, they are. They're better than Tennessee, apparently. I can't believe we got holes on that pick, too, by the way.
Yep.
Fuck you, Tennessee.
All right. Just for shits and giggles, I'll go opposite.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll hedge. So I'll probably take Baltimore to cover, or I'll take them to. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take Baltimore to win the game. I think Lamar winning last week, coming from behind, is gonna give him a confidence boost. It's a yep. So I just hope them, stomping on the logo of Tennessee, thinking
it doesn't come back and bite them.
Doesn't think they're too good.
Well, Marcus Peters is a fucking crazy dude. Yep. So Marcus Peters is a head case. I love him to death.
That could be like the rah-rah speech for the Bills. Like, look, we don't want to beat Tennessee type of thing. Like, we're gonna protect home field. We could take Lamar.
Buffalo is 11-3 in home playoff games in team history. I don't know if that's helped. By the way, they haven't been to the playoffs in 26 years.
For sure.
So,
their name is Boy, I Love Losing Super Bowls. So we'll see how that works out.
All right. So this is, what's so funny? These are really fucking good games, bro. I'm gonna be like stroking the meat on the low. Sunday, 4:05 for you guys. The Browns come to KC to play the Chiefs. What do we got here? And then
It's 10.
what's
Chiefs.
10?
Chiefs
Fuck.
are favored by 10, which is
Andy
kind of crazy.
Reid 7-0 has a 7-0 career record as the head coach versus Cleveland.
And he's like the most. He's like the best bye week coach ever.
Is he really?
His bye week record is like 16-1. Like he has a ridiculous bye week record. I think I'm gonna go with the Browns to cover this game. 10 is a lot in the playoffs.
100%.
They're playing with this underdog mentality. I still do think the Chiefs win because I think it'll be a sluggish. I think it'll be a fight. I think the Chiefs might not take them as serious. They've been playing like nonchalant kind of all year. They they know they're the best team in the league.
Yep.
And it could bite them in the ass. I'm gonna go with the outstanding player of this game. Is probably gonna have to be Nick Chubb. He's gonna be the X factor of this game. He's gonna have to probably run for $175. You're gonna have to keep Deshaun. You have to keep Patty on the sideline. There's gonna be your game plan. You have to do ball control, keep him on the sideline, limit his touches.
And they get Stefanski back this week, which I think is gonna be an improvement for them as well, at least from a play calling standpoint. That sounds dope. You heard it here first. Fucking Browns are gonna beat the Chiefs on the fucking road, bro. Okay. I would take the 10. I would take the fucking Browns to fucking win this game. Fucking Browns are gonna fucking go cook. I think that my standout player, I'm gonna take the other homeboy. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on him right now, but
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. I'm gonna take Kareem Hunt in this game. I'm also gonna take Baker Mayfield. I think Baker's gonna have. This is gonna be a great game. They impressed me so much last week. They almost lost the game, right? In the end. But again, their defense fucking sucks. But I still think that what you were saying is that everybody, if you know football, you do what they do to Tom Brady, you do what they do to Peyton Manning, you do what they do to Drew Brees. You keep homeboy on the sideline. I think if Nick Chubbs can, and I don't know what the numbers are, but the Chiefs' defense is kind of soft against the run. Yep. This is going to be a long, hard day for them. I take the Browns, bro. I'm with you on this one. This is definitely the cover. I don't think the Chiefs are going to blow them out like that. And I think the Chiefs are going to struggle a little bit. They're going to have a little rust on them. The only problem is who the fuck is going to cover Tyreek Hill? That's the only question I got. Because if they start fucking slinging it, it's over.
Yep. We're on agreement there.
Okay. So next game, brother.
All right, we got the Bucks on the road against the Saints, who they are 0-2 against. And they were embarrassed the last time out.
It's G-Pa versus G-Pa.
Yep. You seen the little tweet they put out with the old man?
Hilarious.
That shit was hilarious. Funny.
The Senior Citizens Bowl is what this one's going to be called. What's the spread you said?
Saints by 3.
Fuck. So, check this out. Brady's going to win this game. And the only thing... Oh, real quick. New Orleans has won 5 straight games against Tampa Bay. So 5 straight games against Tampa Bay. This to me is a proven resource why this game is going to go to the Bucks. New Orleans has been killing them. I think that Brady, bro, they got Brown, they got Godwin, they got Evans, they got freaking Gronk, right? I think Fournette played very well last week with the absence of their other with Jones on the sideline. If Jones plays this week, he plays healthy. Bro, the Bucks are loaded. The only thing is, do the Bucks, right? Because you said this stat. They're the most they sack the most, so they blitz the most. They're one of the
Second
most blitzing,
they blitz the most
team defenses in the league. If they can't stop Kareem Hunt by
You mean Alvin Kamara?
Sorry, Alvin Kamara. If they can't stop Alvin Kamara, it's over.
True.
Because Alvin Kamara because the Bears had him locked up. And then the second half came. Homeboy's the best. He's making an argument for the best running back in the game.
You gotta lock him up. You're probably gonna have to spy him and just make sure they don't get no screens off on him.
And then I'm gonna take Tom Brady. I'll take Bucks and Brady.
Okay, I think I'm gonna take the Bucks too. I think that the fallacy of the Saints being 2-0 in the playoffs.
Yeah, the playoffs are 0-0, bro.
Exactly. And Tom's been there before.
All day, bro. He lives in the building. He lives. My man is the ultimate, not only professional, but the most competitive playoff quarterback.
He's 30-11 in the playoffs. Like,
Bro, did you see last week's game when he played? You seen the stat? Like, remember how we were arguing?
oh, he's 31-11 now in the playoffs.
I got you. But he dwarfs everybody else in wins.
Yep.
Like over the Montanas, over the Elways, over
Peyton Manning, everything.
Everybody. So this guy, I mean, if he wins this game, it's just. I think the Saints are soft. The Saints showed up real flat against Chicago last week. If they do that against the Bucks,
they're done.
It's a wrap, bro. But they're just gonna pull their ears back. They're gonna start rushing him. Yeah, this doesn't really bode well. Like it's like the Saints kind of cooled off towards the end.
Yep.
And the
Bucks went up. Yep. Antonio and Tom Brady are on the wavelength right now.
Way, we both called it. First play, pow, AB.
Yep. So it's gonna be an interesting week. Very interesting. I think we're going to discuss, and I think we should do a game.
Yeah, I'm totally down, bro. And we'll get the kids, we'll get the girls. I'll get my kids, and we'll have fun. Photo bomb the shit out of it, and we'll just talk shit the whole time.
That's it.
Yeah, so I think that's cool.
So now switching gears, so quick little topic we wanted to talk about, because I have mixed emotions about this film. We're talking about Tenet. Christopher Nolan is my favorite director, probably of all time.
I wouldn't go that far, but he's up there. He's top 3.
He's one of them.
Yes.
You have him, Scorsese.
I love him. Yeah, Scorsese and I was going to say
John Favreau.
What's homeboy Pulp Fiction? That's probably the guy.
Quentin Tarantino.
On the
Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, Quentin. So Tenet.
Okay.
What was your? Give me your review.
All right. I saw it the first time and I saw it on bootleg, right? And sorry to all you actors and stuff. I just can't wait. And I think COVID was popping down. I had to watch it. I don't know what happened. I watched it the first time. I did not like it. Now that could have also been because I watched it on bootleg. Watched it again with the missus. I liked it much more. Obviously, sound was fantastic, settings and all that stuff, but it was a very confusing film. Overall, I would say it's definitely not his best. It's not better than Interstellar or Inception, but he still delivers. I would say I would give it like a 7.5. But I also think that, and this is gonna sound like a shot, I don't know if Denzel's kid was the right character. So I think the casting was weak. That's what I think. I don't know.
I liked him. I thought he did a pretty good job.
I'm not saying that he was horrible. I just don't think that it was like you didn't fall in love with his character.
I think,
you know what I mean? Like he was kind of off.
The reason why it was off-putting, I think is just because the point you just made, where the movie was confusing.
Yes.
So you couldn't relate to him because in your mind you're trying to figure out what is going on, kind of thing. So the movie itself did a bad job of normally the ending ties everything together, or towards almost towards the ending it ties everything together, and
Nolan for having awesome endings.
Yeah,
it was not an awesome.
It wasn't, and I was confused myself, and I was like, my girl's asking me questions, and I'm like, I don't know yet. Like I'm still trying to figure it out. And I kind of got it, and then I'm like, spoiler alert for whoever's watching.
All of our reviews.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Okay, they found this staff thing that can control time, kind of, or he can end all humanity. It was just a weird thing.
It was too out there. Like there was so many things to wrap your head around, right? It's like time travel, and then where does time travel come from? And then we got bullets that go backwards, and then time travel isn't backwards. And again, I think the same thing that we talked about last week with Wonder Woman. There was just so much going on that you really couldn't tie your head around one specific part of the narrative.
Correct. But I was just disappointed because he does a good job of tying everything together. Mm-hmm. So you'll be on this journey like Interstellar was or Inception was, where you're kind of confused, but you kind of understand. But you when the ending comes, it's oh shit, everything fit together like a glove. And then this didn't. I think he was trying to do that with Robin Pattinson,
I was another guy who I thought was a weak casting.
You know, he tried to tie them in together where like, all right, he was the one who was helping him out the entire time. Like he was always
Hmm.
ahead of him kind of thing.
Right.
He knew everything that was going on. And like his character wasn't really defined that well to me, like to really understand. Like he was working with him, but then he was ahead of him the whole time. So it was a
I also
weird
thought
thing.
that the young lady that they picked was weak sauce. I thought the villain that they picked was weak sauce. Like I wasn't afraid of him. I kind of felt her a little bit, but she was very off-puttish. You know who she reminded me of? She reminded me of a little bit of like Sophie Turner,
What was that?
just like the girl from Dark Phoenix. She played.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. There was no like the only person who saved the day for me, and it was only like for 2 minutes was Michael Caine. Michael Caine came like a goddamn pimp, told you what pimp life was about, and I was like, I'm a pimp. I'll see y'all later. And then it just disappeared. I don't know. There was so many ebbs and flows for the film
Which I
that
think is fine. I just don't think they didn't tie it together well. They didn't tie, like them going backwards in time through a machine, and then Shorty knew the Indian chick knew everything. She was withholding information. Then
I thought
Denzel.
she was a weak casting too. Even and nothing against her nationality. I just felt with a movie of like this magnitude, and this is gonna probably be dangerous to say, they shouldn't have taken so many chances with actors that weren't like, for example, in Interstellar, you love Matthew McConaughey. So because you love Matthew McConaughey, you're not even worried about his character. You're like, fucking Matthew McConaughey's dope. I can focus on the story. Same thing with Inception. The cast in Inception is fucking bananas. You got fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. You got Jason Gordon-Levitt. You got what's the other dude? Bane. What's Bane's name?
Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
So you got all those dudes. So you're already like, okay, I got all these guys down. I'm invested, and they've had a stronger cast. This cast, I just didn't buy it.
You wanna know something crazy? What I noticed in the film, and I'm pretty sure people didn't notice in the film.
I mean, I'm about to watch that shit right now.
Remember Homeboy, the army dude who was planning everything with the beard?
Okay, no, keep
Towards
talking.
towards the end of the film, he was like the third character, like fourth guy. Like you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That's kick ass.
Which one?
The dude with the
Oh,
British
yeah,
voice.
of course.
But I'm saying people, like, I'm pretty sure people didn't notice that.
Too. Him, he's weak sauce too. I'm like, you got like, we needed. First of all, let's rewind the tape a little bit. I felt bad for Christopher Nolan to put a project of this magnitude together and it flop in the theaters because there was no theaters, and
And then he was talking all this shit about, I don't want to be on Netflix. I don't want to fuck with Netflix or any of these streaming
Yeah,
services.
but I kind of feel him too, though. Like that's one thing that we didn't bring up with Warner Brothers and Wonder Woman being released simultaneously through streaming and through the theaters. Like now things are changing, and I understand Nolan's like preference. Like we're used to watching movies in the theater, and that's a whole different experience. I'm not saying that I'm against doing Netflix stuff, but I think there should be separate films. But now Netflix is going to take the whole world over because they drop in movies with Leonardo DiCaprio. You know, HBO.
But that's the issue. What I'm saying is that you can't drop Tenet, right? And it be whack. Because
No.
your argument doesn't hold up. Saying we have to go to the movie theater in order to enjoy film.
Right.
If I would have been kind of pissed off, because I was already excited about it last year.
I was mad too. Yes.
I would have, because I bought it on Amazon. Because I like Christopher Nolan, so I'm supporting somebody who I like.
Pocket, 100%. I'm with you on that.
But then I would have been mad if I would have went to the movie theaters, spent $100 almost in movie theaters, going to eat popcorn, eating dinner, going with my girl
That's another thing too.
to see that. So your argument when you're saying, "Oh, film needs to stay in the movie theaters," and then you drop that, it doesn't hold up. That's my only thing.
I also think that, and this is gonna sound crazy too. I think that Nolan is past his prime. I think he dropped the Dark Knight trilogy. I think he dropped Inception. I think he dropped Interstellar, and that is where it's at, because he's had other movies in the past. I mean, to shout out to Flex. Flex's favorite movie is Memento. Memento is great, but it's confusing as fucking fuck. I just finished watching Insomnia with Al Pacino, Robin Williams. The first time I saw it, it was confusing as fuck. I seen it this time. I thought it was a much better film, but I don't know. Now he's trying to be like this groundbreaking director with not only scores and acting and really intricate story plots. I don't know, man. I definitely think this wasn't his best stuff, and I think a large portion of it was maybe Denzel's kid. And what's his first name? I don't want to.
John Washington.
John Washington, by the way, he was a former running back in the NFL. I don't know if anybody knows that, but John Washington, he delivered. But I think that his delivery wasn't as impactful because the supporting cast was kind of weak sauce. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, I don't think Patton delivered. He was okay. I thought when they got kick ass in there, I was like, oh, okay, where are we going? And it's starting to bug me a little bit that we have all of these non-Americans acting as Americans, and I'm not. I just don't buy it. It's not that I don't like it. Like I thought about this the other day. Like Henry Cavill as Superman is kind of a cusp because I think he's English, but some of these guys I don't believe is like Kick-Ass to me is not a badass. Like why is he playing, the ultimate rock star soldier? Like granted he did it in Godzilla for like a second. I don't know. I think there was just too much going on. This movie was a stretch and I was disappointed too.
It was a big it was definitely a letdown for me. I would
have feel like a motherfucker if I would have dropped the fucking C note on this shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like
how much Amazon robbed you for $9.99 or they hit you with the
$19.99? I think it was like the $19.99, $20, which is a bargain compared to going to the movie theaters.
100%.
But like I was excited. I'm like, yo, babe, phone off, shut up, lights off. We're gonna get locked in.
I was waiting for this motherfucker too. And it was one of the heartbreaks of 2020 that I didn't see this movie in the theaters.
I think 2020 was a bad year for film. Like
it was a bad year for film. Actually, you could argue that it's been a bad year for film. I think like Netflix gets it. Yep. Look, give these guys a couple things, and if it flops, it only went right to DVD.
Like 2020 was fine. Like for Netflix, it was dope, but for like films,
no.
It was
Netflix
shaky.
got it dialed though, bro. They got it dialed.
Yep.
They really understand. They give you freedom, and they don't get involved as much when it comes to like the end result, which is dangerous.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
They let creators create.
For that.
They let creators create.
Yes.
That's the big thing.
I'm gonna go watch it right now. I'm gonna get my act together and try to see if I see it. But it's so boring. Did you notice that too? Was it boring to you?
I was like in the middle of the film and I'm like, what else is gonna happen? Like, okay, like get to start explaining what's going on. Explain to me a little bit of what he had this device. The device he can control life, and if he kills himself, he's gonna end life too. Like, it was just confusing into that aspect. Like even talking about it right now, I'm trying to think. Like it's confusing.
I'm trying to think too, and I'm baffled. That's why I said I gotta go watch it again because I have no idea what happened in that movie.
Yeah.
All I know is that you fight backwards, bullets go into the gun, which I thought was cool. Yeah. The graphics on that part were fire.
The fighting was dope. Like everything, that shit was dope. Yeah. But it just
the action was great.
Trying to break it down where like the Russian dude is like now this big. He's like this big dick dude who knows what everything is coming. Because he keeps going back in time. He goes to check it out for 5-10 minutes. All right, this is about to go down this way. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna go back to normal time, the present. Be ready to deal with whatever situation is gonna come my way, because he already knows what's on the way. So like, I get that part, but like
that was the main protagonist. That was what that dude was doing.
Basically,
I was lost.
So basically, he was going in the future.
Mm-hmm.
He was seeing what was going down in the future, and then he'll be ready in the present.
Gotcha.
So he already knew how many steps ahead of what everything was happening.
John Washington's character was trying to stop him from doing that, and he was trying to infiltrate his organization, right?
Correct, because he wanted to get the device that allows him to go back in time.
And then Shorty's connection was because that was his right?
Correct, because he was the wife. She's the wife.
And then what was Patterson's role besides being like handsome? Because that's all that motherfucker was doing.
He was like the guy. He was like kind of his partner, but he's like the smooth talker. Who could get into everything. He was like the mastermind, kind of like he was like. John was like, yo, I need to get to do XYZ. He was the one who's going to go to figure out to execute XYZ. Like, that was his job. That's why, like, he figured out how to get on top of the building to the Indian couple. How he was the one who executed the plan. Like, yo, I need this shit to get done. All right, cool. I'm gonna go get that done. That was his job.
Yeah, no, that and it's almost like 3 hours too. That shit, they got to go back to 90 minutes, bro. This it just keeps getting longer and longer and longer that, you know, an hour and something in it, if I don't understand the plot, we're pretty much done. I would probably fall asleep in the theaters watching this movie.
I would have been mad.
I don't normally fall asleep
Yep.
in movie.
Me either. And I would have been upset.
Oh my god.
But that concludes our tenant.
I think Nolan needs to like just let it go, bro. If you're already beefing in the streets with the companies and everything like that, just make movies with Leo. You know what I mean? Like,
That too.
just figure that shit out. Like, let's stop moving away from guys that you know that you think, or do. I think you know what he needs to do. He needs to do what you recommended last week. Go back to motherfucking Warner Brothers. Say, check it out. I'm in charge of DC. You motherfuckers go over there, and I'm gonna do everything from here on out. I'm gonna oversee it. I'm gonna hire the directors. I'm gonna hire all this shit because I don't know. Like I said, I think, you know what's so funny? I thought Interstellar, he started to kind of, if it wasn't for that ending that put it all together, Interstellar is kind of a boring film too.
But that's what
it's not as thick as Inception. Because Inception, you're like, holy fuck, and the soundtrack's so good, and Leo's jumping all over the fucking place, and they literally have like sub stories within the story, right? Like you got the girl that's making the puzzles, and she goes into Leo's head, and you got Leo running around, and you got Tom Hardy fucking trying to figure it out. Like there was so much there that I felt like in Interstellar, I was lost in Interstellar for like an hour in the middle, and I think now he's just kind of lost his shit. Too bad for John Washington. I mean, I thought he delivered an okay performance. I just thought that they could have had a little bit better situation. Also, you know what I thought too that fucked with me too? I don't know if it fucked with you, and we'll leave it out on this. His height blew me up. Like, they should have put him on stilts or something.
Oh, because he looked so short next to Homeboy?
Yeah, he looked short against a lot of people. He looked short against the girl. He looked short against the villain. Now, granted, if you're trying to build intimidation, but he even looked just short with Patterson. Like, he just looked like a small fry. And I'm a small fry too, but Tom Cruise never looks small in movies. Rocky never looks small in movies. Like, so they know how to do camera tricks and how to make guys look, you know, taller.
They make sure that, you know, the lead character looks dominant, kind of.
And that's the best way to say it. I don't think that the lead character was dominant, and that's why I thought it was a bad casting. Like, he didn't steal the show for me. He didn't blow it away. And for him, you know, coming of Denzel's, you know, loins, he didn't bring a Denzel fucking. He didn't take the lane. Yeah, no.
Like Denzel probably would have did a fire ass job.
I was just gonna say that I would have got Denzel. Why? No offense to John, but I'm like, let me talk to the president. I don't want to talk to the vice president. Get me in charge with the NIHIC. You know what I mean? Like, where we at?
True. I agree, man. I agree. The film was weird. So 2 weeks in a row, we got some weird ass shitty films.
Like I said, bro, it's been rough. They don't make, if it ain't Netflix.
You know what movie was good? And we'll end it here. That Netflix has, The Old Guard.
Again, I couldn't fuck with it.
You really? I thought that movie was dope.
I like Extraction better.
Extraction was dope too, because he was just killing everybody.
Boom.
Yeah.
I don't need no story, Papa. Just murder everybody. Also, too, the Russo brothers who did Avengers 3 and 4 are just fantastic, and they really understand action.
Yep.
They understand plot, and Chris Hemsworth is amazing, bro. I've never seen a bad movie with this guy. He's really good. I was just watching Huntsman. Snow White and the Huntsman, that movie's trash. Because I was like, let's go, bro. Keep swinging the axe, Thor. You know what I mean?
For sure. Well,
what do we got for the folks on the sidelines? Who's still in here with us? Anything?
We had 2 people in here, 4 likes, not too bad.
Any comments before they dip out?
We had I completely agree with the social media shifted its core mission, and then we got you always need to read the headlines of
Got you.
Of stuff. No, you read the article.
All right,
so
cool.
that's where we are right now.
We do a live stream Saturday, but
we'll pick again.
Out,
for sure,
bro. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Peace out. Oh wait, Peace out, folks.
Peace out, folks.
Then,
Hold on.
Yeah, do your thing.
My mouse died. Okay.
Nice. That's always good. Give me a sec, bro. If anything, end the Zoom call and I'll call you back on Discord.
Okay.